This works great with BJ. Hey, Internet. Oh, hey.
I wish I wouldn't use so many inside jokes all the time.
Join us as we go.
Stupid one, Sons of Hillary. No, more like Sons of Hillary Star.
What happened? What happened?
Anyway. Hi, everybody. Hello, Internet. Hello, the Internet. I've missed you.
They don't know we're here yet.
Anyway. We had some surprise Patrick Warburton in our extra movie this last weekend.
We did, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We're not expecting Patrick Warburton, and yet we got him.
On Bill
I never
Cameo.
expect a Spanish Inquisition.
He just kind of showed up out of nowhere.
What
Oh, man, we got to get the
What a
Blu-ray
treat.
of The Perils of Gwendolyn. I know.
oh, yeah. We gotta get a Blu-ray of that.
Tweet.
Twiddly diddly dee. Twiddly diddly dee.
Woo!
Oh. Twiddly diddly dee.
I assumed he would do the woo-woo.
Yeah.
Patrick
Oh.
Warburton. Whoa.
Whoa.
Rockin' Robin. Twiddly dee.
Oh, your name's Robin.
One of these days, Patrick Warburton is going to stumble upon our podcast and sue us into the ground.
Yep.
Hey, you talk to my lawyer.
Why are you being so mean to me? This is just
That's
how I talk.
Slanderous libel. I don't sound like that at all.
This is all because we watch what? Space Chimps?
Yeah.
Wait, is that the one I wasn't even there for? Oh, no, I was there
No,
for
you
that.
were for
I
Space
missed
Chimps.
Sputnik, whatever.
Yeah,
Space
you missed
Buddies.
Space Buddies.
Space buddies. Spuddies.
Space Buddies.
Sputnik.
Buddies. In space.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
You can catch up when that movie appears on
Well
Disney
done.
Plus.
Oh,
November
okay.
12th.
Oh, Disney
Yeah, I can
Plus.
also watch Parvo Buddies.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. That one is also on Disney Plus.
Oh, man.
But to be fair, by now all the buddies are dead.
Oh, that's
All
happy.
of them.
Yeah.
Airbud dead.
Oh, super dead.
Airbud died like the second that movie came out. He was just like, "It's all I got. You gave me too many snack packs."
They were chocolate, too.
Yeah.
I think it was quite a number of years before Airbud died.
No, Airbud died like right after.
Was it right after?
Yeah. He was like 10 in that movie. They were just like, yeah.
Well, he still had some sick moves.
his bucket list was make a movie, eat a bunch of snack packs, die.
That is also my bucket list.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good. Yeah.
I like snack packs. They're better than Jello pudding cups. For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like pudding. I played putty, and I like pudding. Putty pudding is what I like to call
buddy,
it.
buddy, buddy, buddy.
That's fantastic.
That's
You're
just super duper.
Yeah.
You're fantastic,
That's,
Chuck.
that's true. Yes.
Oh,
We're just Warburtoning here.
Yep. That's how
Just
you warm
wander
up
all
the pipes.
in.
we're just
Warburtoning.
Warburtoning up. Warburtoning up. If I do the Patrick Warburton impression until I can't anymore, that's how you know I'm warmed up.
Yep.
You know, there's nothing that helps a bad day like making Chuck giggle.
Yep.
It's true. It's fun. It's
You're
fun for me, and it's fun
goddamn
for
right
these
it
guys.
is.
Am I right? I'm right.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah.
King of the impressions. Us.
That's me.
I have to call me Rich Big.
All right, now my neck muscles are tired from.
Clenching them up to do Patrick Warburton. How?
Every morning when I get up and yawn, it's like, oh, Warburton's here.
Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of my four-post bed.
So,
Yep. How was your weekend?
Ah.
well, fine.
It was fine.
Yeah. His weekend was fine.
Yeah, it was all right.
How we spent part of the weekend together.
Oh.
We were watching
Yeah, we did.
we watched a movie.
We
Oh,
did.
you watching movies together?
Sometimes.
Yep.
Why?
I don't know. One of these days we're gonna get smart and not do that anymore.
Right.
Eh.
Yeah, we watched Get Smart. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired.
Yeah. A little tired.
A little nappy. Oh.
You full of meat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was some yeet meat. Just like, "Argh."
Oh my god.
Yes. Eat meat.
So we went to Arby's today.
Yeah. They have the meats.
They
They
have-
almost said they didn't have the meat.
Yeah.
And we were like, wait a second, excuse me.
Yeah, they had to go check and make sure they had beef.
Yeah. The girl's like, wait. I almost did Patrick Warburton.
Hey.
Wait,
Hey.
I don't know if we have beef.
And I thought, they're not sure if they have Arby's is the place with the roast beef.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably keep
Try
some
the
on
roast
hand.
beef, yeah.
but yeah, so they
Turns
she
out they
came
did,
back and
yeah.
they did, and I ordered, as I am wont to do, the silly thing on the menu, which was the
Me.
yes, you Harry Carey.
I'm the silly thing on the menu.
You had the beer, cheese, and double beef
Beer cheese and double beef, which had
Meat-toberfest.
meat. Yeah, it is currently Meattoberfest for those of you that celebrate.
The prelude to Happy Honda Days.
Right.
No, it's the lead up to Toyotathon.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Toyotathon, then
Yeah.
Happy Honda Days.
Yeah, that's much closer to like, those other made up holidays like Christmas and New Year's and
Yeah,
stuff.
those are bullshit.
And I don't think it was double meat. I think they gave me triple meat. I
That's
think
too much meat.
I think the girl was sweet on me and gave me double meat on me.
Sweet meat.
She wants your sweet meat.
Yeah, she did say as she set it down. She looked at me and said, "We made it with love."
Yeah, that's code for they jizzed all over your sandwich.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
pretty tasty jizz. 'Cause-
It was double glazed with the
yeah,
beer battered. I don't know, beer cheese.
It was pretty tasty with jizz. Good to know.
delightfully jizzed sandwich.
How would
in
you
that
describe
Arby's.
an Arby's to a non-U.S. resident?
Ooh,
It's like if a deli went fast food, but then also had stupid shit on the menu. Like I
Okay.
believe they started life as a deli. It was like sliced meats and that's about it. And then they were like, "What if we put onion rings on it too?"
yeah. Well, they went from just like, this kind of shitty sliced roast beef with like electric yellow cheese on it sometimes to crazy stuff. But the beef itself it doesn't really taste like roast beef. It tastes like engineered roast beef.
It's like the Sunny D of roast beef.
Yes, you are exactly right.
It's like someone had a dare to see if they could make roast beef without
Yeah.
any beast.
Exactly.
Not actual roast beef, but an incredible
Yeah.
simulation.
And you know how like a lot of times you get roast beef and it's like brown on the outside and then nice and red in the center when it's sliced like deli style. This is just
It's just
sort of a pale brownish gray all the way through.
It's consistent beef.
Yeah, and then their buns are pretty decent, like onion roll buns, and you get some Arby's sauce, which is basically ketchup with pickle juice mixed together, like it's ketchup and a vinegary sauce mixed together to make Arby's sauce. Yeah. And sometimes you get neon cheese on it.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
But then they have dumb things like curly fries and
Yeah, that's their other jam. is
mozzarella
curly fries.
sticks and
Yeah.
jalapeno poppers
Pizza
Jalapeno.
shooters.
or jalapeno poppers.
Jamocha shakes.
They do. They have that.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
And now they have the Meat Mountain, which is like every meat on their menu.
They have brisket.
Yeah, their brisket's not that good.
Nope.
It's on par with the roast beef.
Yeah, it is if you dared somebody to make brisket without using brisket.
But yeah, that's Arby's in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's Arby's in a nutshell.
And their logo's that hat that Pharrell wore at one time.
Yes. Anyway, it's pretty good.
Yeah, we like it.
Yeah. It's novelty food.
It's dumb food.
Yep. It's pretty much what we eat exclusively before podcasting. Always have. Always will.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, novelty food is our jam.
Yeah.
It is a little dodgy. You are right.
It's super dodgy.
I mean,
You should never start.
I mean, I feel like Arby's is still like a cut above a lot of other fast
Yes.
food places here in
They
America.
pretend that it's a cut above.
I feel like it is.
I would rank
but-
it a cut above.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, sure, I've been to shitty Arby's and I've been to shitty everything else, but it's like there is a higher percentage of shitty Taco Bell's, McDonald's, Wendy's.
Yes.
Every Burger King in Jacksonville is shitty.
Yes.
You know, like all of that is like it's consistently shitty. You might find a good one and it's like, oh shit, this Taco Bell's actually okay.
But it'll turn shitty soon enough.
Yeah.
Right.
But Arby's is like, well, you know, you can go to Arby's and eat like a normal like deli sandwich. They have that.
Yeah, they do have those. Those are actually really good.
Yeah, like
that's
their
the,
market sandwiches are.
That's secretly the best thing at Arby's.
Yep.
You should always order the market sandwich, but you never do because
Yeah. The
you go to
because they
Arby's
have meat
craving
mountains.
the chicken bacon
roast beef.
Swiss is pretty tasty.
It is
Yes,
also
yes,
a
that is
tasty
legitimate.
sandwich.
That's not too like weird or crazy.
Nope.
But yeah, that's Arby's.
Yeah. In a
This
nutshell.
this podcast brought to you by Arby's.
I'm thinking Arby's.
I'm so hungry I could eat at Arby's. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very early Simpsons joke. You know, the Simpsons jokes that I know
Right.
from like the first 5 seasons or so.
Yeah. An episode of that started the other day, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is still a thing, huh?" It was
Like a
also-
new episode of The
yeah,
Simpsons?
Yeah, it was also not funny, but
The Simpsons died after season 10.
yeah, I know. I don't disagree.
Yeah. Guaranteed mediocrity. That's fairly accurate for fast food here generally.
Yeah.
Although if you find a good Wendy's, you never let that Wendy's go.
Yeah. You hold on to that Wendy's.
Invest your own money in making sure that Wendy's stays good.
There is a truck stop Arby's that I stop at on the way to and from Atlanta when we go to pinball.
Really?
Yep, it is in a truck stop.
Is it delightful?
No,
Then why'd you bring it up?
because I always stop there.
You were talking about the opposite
Why?
of the...
Well, because they have nice bathrooms.
Okay, that's good.
The truck stop general store has a wide selection of items,
Okay.
and then I get like a novelty beverage, and then
Okay, like
I'll-
a NOS shaped like a NOS bottle,
something dumb like that.
Okay.
or a 9mm energy drink.
Oh,
shaped
a
like
rare flavor of Full Throttle that you maybe couldn't find in normal stores.
right, because it was discontinued 6 years ago.
Probably. And then on the way out, I'm like, I'll soak it up with a roast beef sandwich from this truck stop Arby's.
See, I mean, the place is
Maybe that's why you always run back to your room mysteriously when we're in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
you're eating from truck stops and shit. Now you got to stop at that firehouse. Like the first firehouse I ever saw that was drive-through. Is it?
Oh yeah, that
Tifton?
one. I think it's Tifton.
Yeah.
We stopped there.
Yeah. And now we have a drive-through firehouse right around the corner.
We do, yeah. And we,
Firehouse is a sub place in the mostly the southeast. It's branching out to other places, but
They also have roast beef.
yeah, but their shit's good.
I have a traditional stop that I used to make on my way to Virginia when I used to drive up there, and it's the Burger
South of
King.
the border?
No, no, it's just before south of the border.
Okay.
Or just after. No, just before, because it's still South Carolina. It's in Dillon, South Carolina, and there is a Burger King that actually has good food. And so I would get Burger King once a year, like good Burger King once a year, and that's why I kept stopping there. And next door is a good fireworks store, and the fireworks store has really nice bathrooms.
I like a good bathroom.
Yeah.
When you're on the road, it's very important.
Yeah. So it was always they boasted like, well, the gas station next door to the fireworks place boasted that they had the cleanest bathrooms on I-95, which is not true at all. But the fireworks store had good bathrooms, so you stopped in the bathroom at the fireworks store, pick up some mortars, pick up some gut mortars at the Burger King, and pick up some explosions for your car at
Right.
the fuel dump. Also cheap fuel at that place.
Pro tips, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever happen to be going on a road trip in the same directions that we would be going,
Either I-95 or I-75, so.
Right on.
Anyway, we should probably do a podcast. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's about time.
Is it 9:30? Yeah, it's 9:30. So this candle allow us to light it.
This Roman candle from the clean bathroom fireworks store. All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
This episode's like a computer because it's episode 486.
Nice.
Oh, supercharged.
Nintendo 486.
It's got the math coprocessor and everything.
Ooh, turbo button.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm Harlow.
I'm BJ,
I'm Chuck.
and we're Mackie-less again.
Mm-hmm. But
We are not me-less. I am here this week,
we are,
finally.
yeah. We're getting back to full strength. But regardless, what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Then we come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then they get ratings. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Robot jocks.
Indeed. However, there are bad movies, and stay away. They get a negative sliding scale. 1 to 5 bags and giant bags of trash.
Boo.
Ew, boo.
Gross.
Sack 'em up. Roll 'em out.
Icky.
Yep. So,
So,
we are in Rocktober.
Rocktuber.
Or Rocktuber, if you prefer, because it's Rocktober 2. And
A Rocktober to remember.
let's see, what have we done so far? We did a rock movie with
did.
the Rock.
We did
Then
Journey
did-
2.
Then we did Karate Rock.
Yeah, you and I enjoyed
Yes.
some Karate Rock.
How was Karate Rock?
A
You-
split decision on Karate Rock.
Okay.
You would have hated
Yeah, you would
Karate
have.
Rock.
You would have been very angry.
Great. I will watch it this week then.
But this week, we have returned to a different kind of rock. A one Miss Cynthia Rothrock
Right.
in Martial Law 2, Undercover from
That counts.
1991.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Do you want a really bad plot summary? Because you always make me
Please.
read them.
Yes.
Okay.
You're under contract.
Oh, I am. Oh, shit.
And under duress.
Okay. Sean and Billy are undercover cops with and martial arts masters. Fuck. I'll start over.
Whoa.
Sean and Billy are undercover cops and martial arts masters. Investigating the death of a cop, they uncover a deadly ring of murder and corruption at a glitzy nightclub where the rich are entertained by seductive women and protected by martial arts experts. Billy goes undercover to infiltrate the crime ring, leading to an explosive finale. You make me read.
That's a
I don't
nice,
write them.
That's a nice description for a movie. Like if I read that, I'd be like, I'd watch that.
Yeah,
And
I'd
it-
watch that.
It might
That
be
sounds
why
pretty good.
We did watch.
Or we were just like, hey, we need a Cynthia Rothrock movie, and
Sure.
we watched the first one,
Right.
so here's another.
And this one had a strong-ish supporting cast.
It has a cast of some BMFcast alums.
Yeah,
Do you have that?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I have it right here. First of all, the writer of Martial Law has returned to pen Martial Law 2. So the expert in this subject matter, he's got martial
he's
law.
a SME.
Yeah. So it also has, as we said, Cynthia Rothrock, who was in Undefeatable, Honor and Glory, China O'Brien, Martial Law, Fast Getaway, and Irresistible Force.
Sorry, I mean, woo!
Yeah, woo. Jeff Wincott has replaced Chad McQueen. Mm-hmm. He is playing the same character,
He is.
but he has replaced Chad McQueen. Chad McQueen took the year of 1991 off. He has nothing going on that year. So Chad McQueen might have had some personal problems. But Jeff Wincott was in Mission of Justice, which in some circles is also known as Martial Law 3,
Oh.
but
okay.
it's not.
All right.
He was also in the extra movies Universal Soldier 2 and Universal Soldier 3.
Yep. Those were wonderful motion pictures.
They were real bad.
I'm sorry, let me say that like Burt Reynolds would say. Hi, those were wonderful motion pictures.
Yeah. Billy Drago is in this.
Mm-hmm. R.I.P.
Yes, he was in Invasion USA and Convict 762
Oh, that memorable joint. That was a hot banger of a movie.
and the extra movie Delta Force 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Evan Lurie, who we know from Hologram Man,
He is forever hologram man.
and also T-Force.
Mm-hmm.
He is in this. We will talk more about him in a minute.
Okay.
Also, one of the many, many roles for James Liu.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to read all these. It's
Yeah.
obscene. But
Well, we figured out another one only because I recognized her.
Right,
The
yes.
lady who plays Bree in this, whose
Yeah.
name is Sherry Rose, was in Maximum Force.
Yeah.
She's been in a couple other BMFcast movies in smaller roles, but that was that
She was-
Sam Jones one where
Yeah.
they basically like go in the
John,
warehouse.
John Saxon
Yeah.
recruits them, and they each have special skills, none of which mean dick all at the
Right.
end.
Yeah. I don't remember who the other guy was. He was like,
I don't know, Abe Vigoda.
well, no, he was like some dude from like a sitcom or some shit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
But he was like, he's like the remote control car guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway.
yeah. She was also in King of the Kickboxers,
Yes.
a 5 Jocks movie.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Anyway,
Yeah, so,
there's some people in this.
I saw that the bad guy from Hologram Man was in this, and I was like, oh, shit, we need to do that.
Yeah, we should probably just wrap up the rest of his filmography. He did not make very many movies.
No, he didn't. Yeah, I think he
And-
has a total of 11.
Yeah.
So.
14 according to IMDb.
Okay,
But
14.
yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, look at the trivia for him. You know what he's doing these days?
What?
He owns an art gallery in like Ohio,
What?
which totally seems like it fits that guy. I would have like, this here is an impressionist painting.
Hey,
You want to buy it?
I mean, I'd buy a painting from Hologram Man.
This over here is a hologram, comma, man.
Maybe he sells
He
holograms.
might. It didn't say what kind of art, but
Yeah.
yeah. So named after him. It's like the Evan Lurie something fine art gallery or
Hey,
something.
whatever,
like
man. Good
yeah.
for him.
Anyway, martial law 2.
Yep.
I got to be honest.
Just
I
the
don't.
Evan Lurie gallery. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't really remember what happened in martial law the first.
The only thing I remember is that it was about trying to stop David Carradine, who was a weirdo, and I think they stopped him with the weird death touch thing
Okay.
that he also then used in Kill Bill. So
Okay.
that's pretty much the only thing I remember. Our criticism of that movie, I remember, is that it treated Cynthia Rothrock like a second banana, and that was unfair to her.
To Chad McQueen, who was just like,
Chad McQueen was okay,
I'm
but it's
here
like
to fight or
he's just-
something.
he was just a big, red-faced, sweaty guy in that, and it's just like, are you okay, sir?
No was the answer.
Yeah. This one's not any fairer to Cynthia Rothrock.
It's more fair.
She's got more to do, but she's also not treated well. I'll say that.
Yeah. I mean, she's still kind of like, hey, you're not the main star of this.
Yeah.
You get second billing, so therefore just disappear for large swaths of the movie.
Yeah.
So
Because Jeff Wincott's got stuff to do. But this starts in a park. And she's one of the first people we see. She's working like a hot dog cart or something. Mm-hmm. She's undercover.
yeah,
And
she's hot dogging.
Uh-huh. And a van pulls up and stops, and some dudes get out, and then some bikers show up, and they park, and they get out
And-
off.
And it just turns out to be a police bust because they're there to
Yeah,
buy
it's-
guns
it's
from
a-
this van.
We
Gun van?
deduce it's a gun van. You can't see what's in the box.
Well, he is describing that there's Uzis and
Yeah.
other guns.
Yeah, the van is oozing. Get out.
But Jeff Wincott is pretending to be a homeless man, and he just kind of throws himself at the van like, "Oh, you guys got change," and they threaten to beat him up, and then it's karate time.
It is karate.
They all do karate, and Cynthia Rothrock throws a hot dog at somebody.
Yeah, that's how she starts her fight.
Who throws a hot dog?
Now I'm curious because not remembering much about the first one, was that also a movie where
Someone throws a hot dog?
possibly, but kind of like I would say this is like sort of like a Jackie Chan movie where it takes 50 punches to actually take somebody down.
It takes a lot of hits for someone to even feel it, and it's one of those movies where someone will get hit in the same spot 13 times in a row.
Right.
And my God, that is the most entertaining thing in this movie.
Yeah,
when someone
I
just
mean-
gets punched in the face repeatedly.
Yeah, it starts here and doesn't really stop
Yeah.
in this fight, So Cynthia Rothrock throws a hot dog and
Go
then,
on.
then starts, spin kicking everybody.
Yes.
But yeah, this is where they start the just, literally just pummeling people mercilessly.
Yeah. Most importantly, in the crotch, in
Yeah.
the
A
crotchal
lot.
region.
Yeah, there is a lot of dick punching going on in this one.
And dick kicking?
Dick kicking.
And dick hitting with sticks?
Yeah. Yep. Dick sticking.
Yeah.
Dick sticking, dick kicking, and
Dick sticking is usually a different thing.
Usually, yeah. I will say, so I think the episode title for the first martial law is one of my favorite things because it's don't get hit with a bat in the groin. So obviously there were some people getting hit with a bat in the groin in that movie.
Sure.
And this kind of continues the tradition, except it's just with feet and fists.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a crotch that is exposed, you will get punched or kicked in it. It's just going to happen. Some people just get their crotches fucking mutilated.
Battered crotch syndrome after this movie.
Yeah. So, yeah, this establishes right away. It's going to be one of those things where a punch will not take someone down. 14 punches might affect them slightly.
Yeah, but they do their job. This is what I still don't understand, because their cop's doing a bust, and then shortly after this, Jeff Wincott is promoted to detective. You know, he's called into the chief's office or whatever, and it's just like, we got to talk. And he's like, oh, something's coming. And he's like, yeah, here, you've been promoted to detective. You're on the force.
Yeah.
You're a very tight cannon. Now, please get into my office. I don't know.
Yes.
Here's an extra gun and badge
Good work.
just for you.
You get results, and I will let you continue to be a cop.
But yeah, so Theo Rothrock is just like, well, you know, good job making detective. I guess I'll just go back to being a normal cop, and who's about to go on vacation.
Well, like the next thing we see, she's tending bar.
Yeah, it's a cop. It's a cop bar down to even the bartender is a cop.
Yeah. And we're like, what is she doing? Why are they making her do all this?
Yeah, but they're having like a mild celebration for him making detective, I guess, or maybe
Yeah.
all the cops were just at the bar anyway.
I believe
Yeah.
probably the latter. They were just like, hey, you got promoted.
But this is just, you know, dangling a little bit of like, hey, she knows how to tend bar.
I suppose, yes,
Yeah,
that is.
it's dangling that little tidbit about her character.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very shortly after he's a detective and he goes to his new job, and
They send him to corruption detective precinct, where it's just everybody is corrupt. That's just it.
yeah, but yeah, Billy Drago's the captain.
Yeah.
This other dude who's also shady and wearing a duster. It should be noted. Jeff Wincott is wearing a duster almost this entire movie. Like occasionally he will lose the duster to put on like a fighting gi or something like that, but it's like otherwise he's pretty much wearing a duster, and usually has the sleeves pushed up Miami Vice style. Which looks real dumb with a duster. I'm gonna go on record. If you ever get
And it's not even like a nice Western duster. It's
No.
just like the fabric and everything. The fabric and the cut is like just a really long sport coat. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But like the main bad,
1991 was
Yeah.
bad for fashion sometimes.
the main crooked cop who also has a duster, his is a leather duster.
yeah.
Yes.
His is
Well,
fucking
that's because he's
fancy.
dirty. He can afford the leather
Yeah.
dusters.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's meet all these guys, and also, hey, run into a guy you went to the academy with.
It's like, oh, hey, it's you.
and it's like, oh, he's gonna show. All right, you know each other. Fine, he can show you around the precinct.
yeah, and like 4 times this guy's like, hey, can I tell you something? And Jeff Wincott's like, yeah. And he's like, I'll tell you tomorrow. It's okay. It's cool. Never mind. He's like, you sure? He's like, well,
But he is ask, like Jeff Wincott's asking him about him. Like, hey, how's it going? And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you know, I quit drinking, and my wife is doing great. I've got 2 kids. I think he said at one point in time.
Sure.
We never saw the kids, but you know. But it's like, yeah, it's great. I quit my drinking and got my shit together. And he's like, that's great, man.
Yeah.
I made detective. All right, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I gotta go. There's a thing I gotta do.
I gotta do cop
Can
stuff.
you do the rest of the tour yourself? And he's like, yeah, that's how tours work.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll just look around and then
Just
I
like,
guess just
oh.
decide where I sit.
I mean, I guess I've been a cop before, so that's probably where they keep the evidence. And
Yeah.
over there's a lockup. Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
standard cop things.
And then elsewhere we meet Spencer, who's the main bad guy, as he's being interviewed by some news lady who's just doing a feature piece on, businessman Spencer, whatever the fuck. And
Yeah, this is where we meet Christopher Reeve.
he is very Christopher Reeve-ish. Yeah, but they're just at his house like, wow, you're rich and you have businesses. That's great. Anyway, coming up next on the news, and then this is where we see Evan Laurie for the first time. He's just lurking around in the background. He's
Yeah.
obviously this dude's henchman.
Yep. And so is what's-her-face, the other lady I
Yeah.
mentioned.
And then they go to this club, which turns out to be the Club Syntax.
Club syntax.
And there's just some mild menacing going on, but it's hard to tell really.
I don't like they introduce him like they're doing some piece, you know, like, oh, he's like a 24-year-old multimillionaire. How did you do it? You know,
Yeah.
the support of my dad and stuff, you know.
Oh
great.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just,
this
I
is-
inherited it.
This is the fucking great. It's like, oh well, you know, it takes hard work, perseverance, lots of sacrifices, blah 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 blah. and of course the support of my millionaire father. And his dad comes in and he's like straight-laced white guy. He's like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
You know, it's the whole like, "Oh, I'm so successful on my own, but I got a loan for $25 million from my father to get all
And I
this
turned
success."
it into 25 and a half.
Yeah.
I sure figured. I thought that was going to be more of a thing, like him and his dad, but you never see his dad again.
No, it's just like they're for some reason they're doing a piece on him for whatever like Inside Edition bullshit.
magazine.
Yeah, but yeah, and it's just like okay, so I guess he's known for richness.
Yep.
Because he owns this club, and this club is just some kind of weird front where he has, I guess, like the traditional version of escorts. Like, not the actual prostitute, you know, like, euphemism. I mean, they literally just, like, go around the bar and make conversation.
Yeah.
They are companions.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's like, you know, escorts, the true definition is more like, hey, do you want to hire someone to go to this party so you don't look like a fucking loser?
Right.
You know, not, you know, sex is not guaranteed.
Like,
It's
yeah.
that, you know, to get around laws, it's like escorts became the thing you put in the paper. It's like, well, that's not illegal.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of a weird, because
he's just got
it is
ladies.
implied that they do sometimes sex these people for information.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and he's just got him around this club, and he's like, he'll just kind of direct him like, hey, go talk to this people, and whatever you glean from the conversation,
Yeah.
bring it to me.
Yeah, and at first they're pulling this one lady away from this one dude, and the dude's like, "Hey, man," and they're like, "No, your drinks are on the house. Get out." And he's like, "No, I will not."
Actually, he's just like, much obliged, and we never see that dude again.
No, they kicked that man's ass out of the building.
Do they?
Yeah, this first guy is he's just like, because the bartender's like, "Hey, man, that's Spencer. What's his nuts? Leave him alone." And he's like, "Yeah,
I
well,
thought he just like when he said drinks around the house, they were just
no,
like, let him go.
this is like when Evan Lurie is the first one to start fighting, and then the
Okay.
girl roundhouse kicks him out the door.
No, that was Jeff Wincott when he went in the bar. This dude was just like, oh, drinks around the house, cool.
Oh,
Good on you. Like they were just like, this guy's the owner. Like,
You're right,
Yeah,
I'm-
and he
I'm
was just like, whatever.
conflating
But
those two scenes.
anyway, his friend from the academy, of course. I thought, this was a dirty cop. He was being so shifty
Yeah.
that I was like, this is a dirty cop situation, and he doesn't want to let him in on his first day here.
Yeah.
But no,
like I'll let you set up your desk, and then
he's actually, for whatever dumb reason, is following the dirty cops instead of like calling internal affairs or whatever. But he's following the sergeant dude who was the leather duster guy to a meet with Christopher Reeve. I don't know.
some meat under an overpass just to do
and
something.
then of course they find him, and long story short, they kill him. They put him in a car. They get him drunk. Like when they're loading, they beat the shit out of him first. They beat the living fuck out of
Man,
him.
do they?
and it's just like they're pinballing him around between them. But it's just like we're all gonna get a couple hits on this dude.
Yeah.
And then they put him. They obviously got him drunk because they're putting him in a car. He's like, "I'm in, man. Whatever you want to do, just don't kill me." And they're like, "Yeah, whatever." And dude breaks his neck and then like pushes his car over a cliff or a ravine or whatever.
They pour a bunch of liquor in his mouth.
Yep.
He had said to dude whose name I'm going to forget forever because he doesn't matter.
Sean.
Shawnson.
Sean Shaughnessy.
Sean Shawnson. He had said, "Oh man, I'm doing great. Life is good. I'm finally off the sauce. My wife came back. My dog showed up, and my trailer got blown back into the trailer park by a rogue tornado or whatever.
That's the anti-rogue tornado. That's like a
sweet tornado, a human tornado.
I was going to say like
a humane
humane
tornado.
Yeah. I'm the humane tornado.
So yeah,
I put your trailer back.
humane tornado brings his trailer back, but
I Dolomite put it back.
he doled out a mighty sweet thing.
Yeah.
I'm fucking off the rails now. But yeah, he had told Sean Johnson this, and so Sean Johnson shows up to the crash scene. Is like, no, he wouldn't. He had told me he's off the sauce,
And I believed it.
and I believed him. And Dobbs is like, nah, he was a major fuck up. Don't you worry.
It was his time.
Yeah.
Came back and got him. But he does go down to the car. Like they've already fished his body out and they're carrying him off. And like so he goes out of the car and finds a matchbook like stuck in the seat for Club Syntax. So that's his lead.
Yep.
And he doesn't tell anybody. 'Cause he's
So-
like, there's something going on here.
Two things about this. One,
Uh-huh.
so every detective story currently is fucking broken because there are no more matchbooks. Matchbooks are the fucking clue in everything, and now they don't exist. Two, there are at least two, maybe three plausible explanations throughout this movie of people disappearing, and the cops are just like the two main cops are just basically like, no way. There's no way that's the case. And it's like, yeah, but it's pretty plausible. Like, it's really plausible. And they're like, no, cop hunch. No way.
Well, yeah, you gotta go with your gut, man. What's the other one? Are you talking about what's her face when she disappears?
Yeah, when she disappears, and
No,
Rothrock
no.
is just...
Oh no, she caught that one. That was set up, and we'll get there.
Okay.
Let's just get there naturally.
All right.
But that was actually semi-clever for this very dumb, cliched movie.
Okay.
But yes, so now he's like, oh, my quasi friend is dead. I don't believe the story. I'm going to investigate. So this is where he goes to Club Syntax and just orders a beer, and he's like, hey, did you ever see my friend? Like,
Yeah.
he's about, and that's Hologram Man comes over and is like, hey, this is a very private place. Our customers value their privacy.
Yeah.
We're not talking to you. You need to leave.
Get the hell out.
And that's when he's just like, I got to finish my beer. And he's like, no, you don't. You're done. Get out. And that's when they kick his ass out the bar, basically. And he gets picked up by Dobbs, who's the crooked sergeant, and another like street cop.
Yeah.
And they're just like, let him go. And of course he gets yelled at for even going there. Like, what the hell? This isn't a case.
I was investigating
Billy
Skippy's
Drago's
death.
Like, Billy Drago's like, not a case. Leave it alone. Do it
He
again.
was a drunk idiot.
Yeah,
Stop it.
you're lucky that we didn't, no charges were pressed. Like, just get out of my face.
Right.
So this begins his vigilante justice against this place because he soon enlists Cynthia Rothrock to like. It's like, oh yeah, she's in this movie.
Yeah, they meet up eventually, and she's just like, yeah, I'm going on vacation. He's like, want to do me a favor and stake this place out? And she's like,
I'm on it.
okay,
So
because I'm not a real person.
so she straight up gets a job as a bartender at this place.
Yep.
From earlier, it set up she out of 10 bar.
Yep.
Huh? So
Yep.
clever.
Good job, screenwriter.
The guy asks her to,
How to make cocktails.
how to make a bunch of drinks. And the last one he asks her is the Cookie Monster, the recipe which you received in the intro to this very podcast. That is not a Cookie Monster. I don't know what the fuck it is. You should probably not drink it. But that's not a Cookie Monster. There's not really a
They
Cookie
made it
Monster.
up?
Yeah, they made it up.
What?
Yeah. It's closer to a grasshopper because it's got creme de
Oh.
cacao and creme de menthe.
Maybe it's a West
Cacao.
Coast thing.
I looked on the
Wait.
internet, Chuck.
They had a drink named Steve. Sorry.
Yeah.
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 It's a
I-
classic joke. Come on.
Yeah. So they quiz her on drinks, and then Evan Lurie comes around and is just like, hey, what the hell is going on? And the bartender's like, oh, just auditioning this bartender. And Evan Lurie's like, oh, yeah? Where you worked? And she's like, around. And he's like, cool, you're hired.
Well, he goes like he's like mostly downtown, nowhere this nice. She's like, now if you need references again, he's like, that won't be necessary. It's like,
You were the dumbest criminal enterprise I've ever seen.
You're running this like there's an underground fight club here, and
Oh, yeah.
there's all sorts of shady shit.
yeah, we're about to get to that because we've established. All right,
And you
so,
just let anybody in.
so they have like a main lady. The other clue that they had in this was Jeff Wincott. Before he enlisted Cynthia Rothrock,
clue is
he did
Jeff Wincott.
he did a little bit more searching on like his past arrests because they had the funeral and he talked with his friend's ex-wife.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, he was real nervous about that they were double checking all of his work at and
But he wasn't drinking,
he
I
wasn't
swear.
drinking. Yeah, he was just very nervous these last few weeks before he got killed. And so he goes and pulls up like some of his old cases. He's like, oh, hey, look, someone got arrested at Club Syntax. It's Tiffany something or others, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Tiffany Michaels.
Michaels? Okay, sure. He gives that name to Cynthia Rothrock before she goes to work at the bar. And of course, like literally the first person she meets, the first night she's like, lady sits down and she's like, hey, you're new here, right? And she's like, anyway, my name's Tiffany Michaels.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that was easy.
Good job investigating. Yeah.
But yeah, they kind of become friends, and she's like the main person we're seeing who's like, I don't know if you want to call it grifting or whatever, just like going from place to place and pretending to have a good time and getting information. But she also was like over this too. Like,
Yeah, she's done her tour. She's probably would like to not be doing this anymore, but
Yeah.
what else are you going to do?
yep. So, we saw her earlier because like there was a famous sports promoter that came into the club, and then he pops up again, and they're like, "Hey, we got something that you think you're gonna like. Come with us to the back."
Check this shit out.
And yeah, they have a fucking fight club in the back because of course they do.
Of course they do. It's L.A.
Yeah. And so he's just like,
Every nightclub has a
and he's
secret
like-
fight club.
so the bad dude, whatever the fuck his name is, I don't.
Spencer.
Spencer, yeah, Spencer is like, hey, I was thinking about getting into sports promotion too, but I was thinking about a little bit of a head start. Like, maybe you sell me your company. The guy's like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, tell you what, my guy takes on your guy. If he wins, I buy your company for $10 million. And he's like, that's half what it's worth. And he's like, yeah, but if you win, you can have my club. And he's like,
You're on.
yeah. And then eventually he's like,
That guy is stupid.
He's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, what about against your men? And he's like, 2-on-1. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Man, never take that bet. Listen.
Everyone involved in this bet is stupid.
I know.
Everyone.
I know. But when somebody offers you that bet, they're like, my one guy against your two guys for your anything at an extremely low value or for free or like evens. Don't take that fucking bet. You're being had. If you take that bet, you've had a gambling problem for a while and you should seek help. You are the Michael Jordan of whatever you're doing. And I don't mean basketball Michael Jordan. I mean bad bets Michael Jordan.
Oh, I thought you meant like golf.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, I don't know. He's all right, I guess. Baseball, Michael Jordan.
No, Michael Jordan was better at baseball than he was at betting.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or at not betting. Jesus.
Yeah, but anyway, of course, this guy's dudes lose, and
They do a pretty good job. Like they kick a little ass, but
yeah, eventually, like one of the dudes is like, I'm angry that I lost, so he breaks a bottle and then gets beat to death for his troubles.
He does, yeah. He dies.
Yeah, that boxing man was murdered.
Yep. And okay, so this is why it's dumb on the other part, because he's like, so the promoter on his way out is like, fine, you've got a week to give me the $10 million. Let's go. And then Evan Lurie is like to Spencer, he says, okay, boss, where the hell are you going to get $10 million? And the guy's like, yeah, I know.
That's the other stupid part of this fucking bet. You didn't have $10 million?
Exactly. That's what doesn't make sense. Like, why did you were so fucking confident about this, and then you're like, all right, now we've got to come up with $10 million. Like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of dumb, yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, that becomes the crux of the rest of this movie, is he's got to get the $10 million within a week to buy this dude's sports promotion business.
Right.
While Jeff Wincott's chasing, hot on their heels, and Cynthia Rothrock's working on the inside. And shortly thereafter, she befriends Tiffany, and Tiffany is being they go shopping at one point in time. Tiffany gets harangued by some guys at the bar. They're just like, hey, you come with me, you're pretty. And she's like, hey, she doesn't want to go with you. And kind of grabs this dude, picks this dude up by his his balls, from behind, just basically is puppets him and is like, say you're sorry. He's like, I'm sorry. And then that dude apparently
went and got two of his friends.
Yeah, went and got some of his friends and then just waited outside for them to leave. And then of course tried to start some shit, and Cynthia Rothrock's like, I love that there's two distinct moments in this movie. I mean, she accosts the guy in the bar. That's kind of to be expected, that there's some assholes that are drunk. But we didn't even mention there's a scene before she goes on vacation where just three random toughs try to accost her in a mall parking garage.
Yeah,
and get their asses kicked, and seriously get their asses kicked. Dudes get thrown. They end up fighting about half a flight up of these stairs, and dudes get tossed over the rails multiple times.
I'm pretty sure at least two of the three dudes are dead.
Yeah, but that's just hey, I guess she needs to kick some more ass in this movie kind of scene. But I believe it's in the second fight is where we get the patented scorpion kick. I think it was the bar alley brawl, or did she do that earlier?
It happens when she's fighting these three dudes.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, but she kicks their ass, and it comes down to she's got a baseball bat that someone tried to brandish from the car, and is just whipping it around like a badass, and the guy who was the dickhead in the bar reaches in his car and pulls out the club, if you remember that, if you're a person of a certain age. That was the anti-theft device, the club for your car.
Yep.
Well, he pulls that out first while she's just walking menacingly with the bat. Then she does the whip the bat around like a badass, and he's like,
nope.
Throws the club and runs away.
Yes.
Yep. But
those men also got hit in the groin
a lot,
several times throughout this.
But Spencer's lady Bree saw this and was like, "Oh, she can fight." And so, the very next day, Spencer's like, she's like, oh yeah, I had some trouble in the bar. And he's like, I heard about that. So you can take care of yourself. How would you like a promotion? You know, you don't want to be tending bar without your skills. And then it's just like,
This also doesn't make any
no,
sense.
it doesn't. It's just like,
Oh, this is the stupidest.
I need some more muscle. It's just like, you in? She's like, sure, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So now she's
more-
bartender / muscle when they need her.
She's more.
Was that
in.
Evan Lurie again, or was that the other dude?
No, Spencer himself came
Yeah.
in
It
for
was
this one.
Spencer. Yeah, so fucking dumb. Like
Yeah, I mean, this lady's been working there maybe
3
a week.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm giving a week in the most, you know.
Yeah. Well, she was supposed to be on vacation.
Yeah.
It seems like the time between when she starts vacation and when the movie ends is like 60 months.
yeah.
But
But Tiffany, when they were talking, so this is the mildly clever for a completely generic script bit.
Okay.
Is when they are bonding, she's like, you know, why don't you just get out of here? Why don't you like leave all this bullshit behind? You obviously don't want to be doing this anymore. She's like, why don't you just go home to your parents? And she's like, my parents are dead. You know, and
She has orphan vision.
she has orphan vision, and she's like, it doesn't really matter. I'm dating someone really powerful, and you know, he'll take me away from all of this. Well, that someone powerful is Billy Drago, who of course is dirty, because if you see a movie of Billy Drago, at some point he had to play a hero, just once in a movie somewhere.
I have seen a movie where he played the
Okay,
good guy.
good.
So.
I mean, at least maybe not a hero, but at least a good guy.
Yes.
Because every good guy eventually plays a villain, and every villain must eventually play a good guy.
Right.
But
So the people can go, wait a minute, you're the bad guy. What are
Yeah.
you doing as the good guy?
right. But yeah, of course he's a dirty cop too, and that's who she was dating.
Yeah.
And this all comes around when like things have progressed. Like, you know, dude is like tried to get his money and like tried to do other things. There was a whole subplot where the arms dealer from the beginning like gets back into the fray, where they're like, I guess he knows Tiffany in some way. The
Yeah.
escort lady.
Yeah. Okay, so that guy is some sort of arms / drug dealer.
Right.
And what Spencer wants to have happen is that he wants Billy Drago to bust this guy, and then so they can steal the cash from the deal.
From the
They
transaction.
want to let the deal go through and then bust him so that they can steal the cash that he can then use to pay the guy for his sports promotion business.
That's the basic plan. But he's also like getting more and more of a murder boner for Jeff Wincott throughout this, because like he's lurking around, kind of like sort of investigating this, and like their first attempt to take him out, I think, is it the guys go to his
bar is
the
first.
bar the biker bar is first. Yeah, so he gets an anonymous tip like, oh, I have information on your academy buddy who got murdered. It's like, meet me here. He's like, well, why don't you give me a little bit? He's like, you have to meet me in person. Bye. Click. And of course, like a dumbass, he rolls up to this biker bar. And it's just like, hey, I'm looking for Curly, or whatever the fuck the dude's name is. And
Curly
so,
is a way better name than what.
I don't know what it was,
was
but it's just
supposed
like,
to be.
of course, he just gets like, you know, cracked in the back.
Oh,
with a pool
immediately
cue.
dudes are just like, hey, it's on, biker
Yeah.
fight.
But they fight him one at a time, basically.
Yeah.
So he just like whips their ass with a pool cue, hucks a pool ball at somebody's
Oh my
head.
god, that was the second to last thing that happened. I think he's rolling across the pool table, snatches the 2 ball off it, and the next scene is him fast pitching it into a dude's face, and that guy would not have a face anymore.
No, it's shattered.
Like that is.
But he's also fighting one dude who he raises over his head and just breaks his back on a beam that's supporting the ceiling.
There was a guy before that he picked
Literally
up and then gave him a
backbreaker.
fucking backbreaker.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
job, Jeff.
he is just spinning around. Like all the bikers are coming at him, and he's just spinning around, kicking them all in the face.
Yeah, but you know, he survives and wins and gets away, and
Yeah.
but
And
like, you know,
he just basically has a conversation with
Yeah.
Cynthia
Jeff
Rothrock.
wins.
Like,
yeah. So the degradation of this is that like they've got this dumb plan to buy this sports promotion thing, and I guess make money off of it, or whatever their plan is.
They're
but,
going to run a bigger underground fight club.
Sure, but he doesn't have the money for it, so like he's trying to get this plan in motion, you know, menacing the guy. Like they break this dude's arm to basically like have him, you know, tell him where the next thing is so they can set up the bust,
Right.
and all of that.
but
And-
Billy Drago doesn't want to do this.
no,
He's just like, I'm done with your
yeah,
bullshit.
he's kind of like, I'm out. Like, you know, this
This is too big. We'll get caught.
you basically like literally want me to murder a cop, like
Yeah.
not just like frame an accident or whatever. Like you actually want me to murder the cop, because the other thing is like he sent James Liu and company to his karate dojo place, his workout gym, and they tried to beat him up there too, and that of course didn't work.
This is great though, because they just appear behind him, and one of them is like, I'd like a workout. And then they just immediately start, like, Jeff Wincott is just like, fight time.
Well, he says like something like, "How about a workout?" And the guy's like, "Why the hell not?" Punch. Like Jeff Wincott's just like, "Why the hell not?" Punch, and then just begins this battle.
There's no like, okay, well, here's our price list, and it's just immediately just like fight time.
Yeah,
And
but so like, that's the crazy thing is like, Spencer, like, he's trying to, he's obviously got stress because he's trying to set up this dumb deal that he had no business trying to set up. He's trying to kill Jeff Wincott. And also now he's like, I don't trust Dobbs or whatever the middle guy is. He's like, he's fucked up twice now in a row, like trying to get this guy killed. It's like I just want them all dead. So skip to the end. Like Cynthia Rothrock, it goes to it's the night of the meeting, the big meetup or whatever.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I guess it's important to mention that they kill what's her face?
Tiffany
Michaels.
Yeah. So like Tiffany goes and has a weird sex scene with Billy Drago.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Drugs his drink before she Billy Dragos him.
Yep.
And starts to get sexy. We get our only gratuitous expressions of freedom of the movie here.
But yes, this was the plan. Was like, again, she's still doing Spencer's bidding, even though like at this point she's like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
And like so she Billy Dragos him, and he passes out, and then they come in, of course, and then they're just like, you're not gonna hurt him, right? And they're like, no, this isn't for you, because like dude's like has a gun in his hand, is like grabbing a pillow, like doing the Godfather silencer thing with it, and she's like, you said you were gonna hurt him. And they're like, it's not for him. Blam, and of course shoot him. Now her, yes, shoot her. So Billy Drago wakes up. And Tiffany's dead next to him, and he's got the gun in his hand, and they're taking Polaroids.
They're just standing there like, hey.
Yeah, they're taking Polaroids of the whole thing, and they're like, well, we got you now. Like, this evidence is going to come out if you ever say anything.
Yeah.
And then we really don't see him again, except I guess, obviously, he ordered the bus to go through, even though he said he was out. So she's dead. The thing you were saying that, like, Cynthia Rothrock goes to the bar and is like, hey, has anyone seen Tiffany? And Hologram Man's like... Yeah. She's like, oh, yeah, she left this morning. She said she was going to go hang out with her parents. And she's like,
oh, okay.
Cop sense.
All right.
Her parents are dead.
Right.
You're making this shit up. She's dead.
I forgot. Yep, that part. Okay.
Yeah. Semi-clever for a completely generic-ass movie. But
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's where she was like, she calls Jeff Wincott. Is like, I think Tiffany's dead. Like, something's going on.
Okay.
So she still goes through is going to act like muscle for this meet. But
it's so weird because okay, first of all, they do the bust, which is just
which you think this is how they're going to try to kill Jeff Wincott is like during the breach, because like he's, for whatever reason, the detectives are not the SWAT team are like going into this, and it's like that's not how things work. Your detectives are the smart guys, the ones you want to keep alive, generally speaking.
So like Jeff Wincott and the other Duster brother, they are in charge of the evidence. So basically, like they do the bust, they get all the money, they load it into the van, and they're going to head back to the police station with the evidence. But they get pulled over by the bad guys.
I mean, this bust goes pretty much according to plan. I mean, there is one point where crooked sergeant guy shoots the informant dude from earlier, and he's like, Spencer says hi.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of just like, hey, we're done with you, blam. And it's like, oh, all right then.
But like, you, like I said, you think this is like, oh, they're gonna like while the firefight is happening, this is how they're gonna kill Jeff Wincott. But no, it's just like the bus goes through, they load up all the money in the van, and they're taking it through some alley, which they've now planned to like and pin them and steal the van.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, Jeff Wincott, we're gonna shoot you, and then one of them says, nope, change of plans.
Yeah, we have different orders,
and they kill the cop.
Well, so Jeff Wincott's a cop too.
Yes.
They killed the sergeant.
Yes.
Jeff Wincott.
They killed his Duster brother.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Great album producers.
And so then they just basically drive the van over to the meetup. And so they have Cynthia Rothrock there, and Spencer just tells her, we need you here to unload some boxes. And it's like,
she's like, what are we here for? It's like a meetup, and it's like, what are we meeting? And it's like, well, I'm conducting some business. What kind of business? A van's going to come here. There's going to be some boxes in it. I need you to take the boxes and put them in the car.
Yeah.
You don't need to ask any questions. She's like, okay.
Yeah. And it's like, really? You needed her for that? Like, you found out she has skills, and you need her to do that?
Karate skills to load things.
It's dumb. But,
you wax the floor or the car and sand the floor and pick the box up. I think it's
paint
one
the
of
fence.
Yeah, one of these things you do.
But really, like, it just... this just launches straight into, okay, Wincott and Rothrock are now pissed, and they're going to kill the bad guys. and they just kind of fight around this power plant, water treatment, whatever place this is.
Well, all right. So so they stop the car long enough to kill the sergeant guy, and then I think it's James Liu is going to take Jeff Wincott like to the meet, or he was actually going to stop and kill him before. I don't understand, like, if his orders were kill him, why didn't they just kill him when all the dudes were there?
Right.
But like, I'm pretty sure they stopped before they got to the meet with the van.
Yeah, they
and
did.
he did like a reversal thing with the shotgun on him.
That's right outside. That they've gotten there, and it's like,
Yeah. Because like anyway.
oh right, because when they pull up, he's got the shotgun to the dude's neck.
like James Liu is driving, and
Yeah.
Jeff Wincott's like hiding behind the driver's seat
Right.
with his shotgun in his head, and
Yeah.
like gets out and does the, hey, put your guns down, I'm going to blow your guy's head off, and they're like we fucking care,
We don't
and
give a
so
shit
he's just
about
like,
that guy.
oh you don't care, and then just fucking point blank shoots him in the head with the
Yeah.
shotgun. Like it's not an amazing special effect, but the best part about it is that there is viscera on the muzzle of this shotgun for the rest of this scene.
Yeah. Parts
Delicious.
of dude head on the end of the
and,
shotgun.
and his clothes, like
Yeah.
it's like part of his clothes are hanging off of it too. But like he does that, and then like another dude tries to take the gun, and he does this move where he like flips it around behind him and pulls the trigger backwards,
Yeah.
and shoots the dude behind him.
Yep.
It's like all of a sudden he's got shotgun action skills, but that's pretty much it. Then he's kind of wildly firing the shotgun after that. I don't know how many he has as many shots as he does, but anyway,
he gets it kicked out of his hands at
yeah,
some point. And
exactly.
then it's all fighting.
Eventually, the shotgun goes away, but then, yeah,
Well-
and then it's just a series of like, dude pops out of nowhere, and they may or may not be a henchman you've ever seen before.
Yeah.
and they fight Jeff Wincott for a while, and you think, because they've been setting up, besides being his mildly attractive like lady person, the Bree lady is also like shown like she can do a little martial arting, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh well, you're obviously setting up a competent lady to fight Cynthia Rothrock at the end. Except it's kind of weird because we're seeing Jeff Wincott like explode out of the van and start chaosing this whole thing down below, and then you just see Cynthia Rothrock and her start fighting like up on the catwalk.
Yeah.
They start a cat fight on the catwalk, and she does a little spin kick turns on the catwalk.
Yep.
But yeah, and it's kind of weird because it's like it's over before the camera decides like, oh, maybe we should get up there and watch this, because 9 out of 10 of the deaths and or defeats in this come at the hands of someone falling off a catwalk.
Yes.
Like she just kicks Bree over the catwalk.
Well, she
and-
fights Bree for maybe less than a minute.
Right, exactly.
And knocks
it-
her off.
And it feels like the camera is actually going up to like, hey, Cynthia Rothrock's fighting over here. And
Yeah.
then, and then it gets up there in time for her to kick Bree over the railing and into like a big pile of pipes.
she
And
falls onto some pipes, and then
not impaled, but like she's obviously all fucked up. Like like it's like
Yeah.
she's dead. But,
yeah, and it's like, wait, we were waiting for that.
yeah.
But so Cynthia Rothrock then has to deal with James Liu and the two other dudes who came to the dojo to fight Jeff Wincott earlier. Those 3 people become her chief foils throughout the rest of the end of this movie.
Right.
She has to fight them, and they are all just running and jumping and kicking, and eventually one by one she just throws them over the railing and they
Pretty
die.
much, yeah. I mean, Jeff Wincott's throwing people over the railing too, because
Yeah.
eventually he gets up on the catwalks and, like I said, he fights one
Takes
dude
a little
who
turn on the catwalk.
he fights one dude that just kind of comes out of nowhere, and I don't feel like we ever saw this guy
No,
before. Like
this guy shows up is just like, hi, I was practicing for the whole movie. I'm here now.
yeah, and like for a half a second, I thought he was that weird looking dude that's in the Jackie Chan stunt team. You know, that one like white. I wouldn't even say he's like white. He's just white-ish. Like he's usually like the guy who plays like
I
the
love that
German or
ABC
whatever.
show.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying like he's that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think-
Maybe, I don't know.
Well,
He just
there's a dude he has like a really badass like rooftop fight with in Who Am I think it's that guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, he's got like a weird, almost like fakey looking face. Like it's a very weird face. But for
I
half
don't
a
know.
second, I thought it
Your
was,
face looks fake.
This guy looks like Donny Osmond. He just
Yeah, exactly.
he just jumps in, and it's like he just came from a business meeting. It's like, where did you come from?
Yeah.
And he's flipping and jumping and kicking around and all the things, and he gets dispatched.
But it basically comes down to like he's got to fight Hologram Man
He
because
does.
that's obviously like the chief henchman.
Yeah.
That fight isn't spectacular. I mean, it's like
It's tough, and they end up throwing each other around on these pipes to where there's just one part where he punches Evan Lurie in the face, I don't know, 16 times in a row in less than 12 seconds. But he
the other wonderful thing he does, and I think I feel like maybe he did this in the biker bar fight. Is he's doing that like two-handed flailing thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're making like the fist sounds for both fists, and so he's just speed bagging dudes' faces
Yes.
with like both hands. Just
Yes.
it's kind of great.
Yeah, he also did a thing in the karate studio where he grabbed one guy and was using that guy to block the fists of the other two dudes.
And then the guy just kept looking like, "Hey, stop hitting me!"
Yeah, that's pretty good too. But yeah, he eventually Alexander Gudinov's this guy.
Yep.
He just wraps a chain around his neck and lifts him ever so slightly off the ground, and he's dead. And he does not come back like Alexander Godunov. He's dead.
Nope, he died pretty easy.
Yeah.
not hard at all.
No. So basically, then Wincott just has to fight Spencer, and they fight around in this area where there's power grid things everywhere, and you're like, okay, someone's gonna get kicked into the power grid and get electrocuted. I've seen a movie. That's not what happens.
No, it's just an excuse to have like a metal grate flooring.
Yeah.
Because at some point,
Not
Spencer.
that great.
Well, it's metal grate. Yeah. But eventually, Spencer grabs some sort of like pipe thing off the wall or
Yeah.
whatever, and is trying to fight with him. And of course, it gets reversed onto him and stuck into the metal grate flooring.
Yep.
Just sticking out, and it's like, well, okay, now I've seen a movie, and when is this going to happen? But they fight for another minute, and then eventually he gets kicked onto the pipe and impaled, obviously, because
Yeah.
we've seen a movie. The weird thing is that the shot would imply that Cynthia Rothrock is now looking for Jeff Wincott and is walking under the metal grate flooring where they're having this fight.
Yeah.
But it's like, and that like I was actually halfway expecting her to like literally walk under a blood shower at one point in time because
She does. I mean, she runs up right as he's about to get impaled, and then would be pretty much underneath the
Right.
effect of this.
but that doesn't happen.
No,
it's just
it's-
like
no.
they just kind of like, oh, this is happening, and it kind of a hard, rough cut to like we've defeated this guy. Now it's time to. He basically meets up with her and is like, Captain whatever Billy Drago was in on this too.
He's dirty. We got to get
Yeah,
him.
and so they just again sans internal affairs or any other like things that would actually be like cop due diligence or
Nah.
due process type things.
Just get him.
Yeah, they just like hop in their in his Wrangler and like go to his house.
Yeah.
And Billy Drago, of course, is like he's about to eat a bullet.
Yep.
He's just sitting at home smoking and like
He's just waiting for them to knock
yeah.
on the door.
And yeah, it's just like it ends with them like knocking on the door and then like the sound of a gunshot. As you kind of saw him put the gun up to his head. Hard cut to credits.
Yeah.
Like that's how the movie fucking ends.
Yeah.
I think these people not going to internal affairs is the only thing that makes this feasible as a movie. And also, they've seen movies before, so they know that the guy in internal affairs is in on the deal anyway.
Oh,
so
sure.
if they go to Vice Squad or whatever, they'll just get the cold shoulder and they'll have to take the case on themselves.
Right.
Honestly, like, okay, so we're into the rating territory now, I guess. But
Yeah.
there's a couple things I want to mention. First off, like, as I recall, this movie is better to Cynthia Rothrock than the first one was.
Absolutely.
A little bit better. It's not great
Gives
because
her more to do.
it's still never clear exactly what her police job is because like at one point like
She's a police.
well, when they hard cut to her walking, like, oh, ladies be shopping shot where she's just got three, LA shopping bags in her hand. And it's like, for half a second, I was like, please tell me this is just like a sting operation. Like, have an attractive lady walking down the street holding bags and wait for muggers to come. And then that attractive lady beats their fucking asses to death. But it's not. It's just she was literally like, I was on my fucking vacation. It's just like, oh, wait, ladies really be shopping. Okay.
I think two things. One, I think she was maybe undercover or on the beating up dudes in the park squad.
Sure.
And two, LA shopping bags was my second favorite light gun game next to LA machine guns.
That's fair. She was buying some LA gear and had it in some
Yes.
LA shopping bags.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the movie gives her more to do,
More to
but
do.
I still feel
sure.
like she's a pet in
She's
this movie.
wasted,
She's
yeah.
just like,
She's just
okay,
somebody for what's his name to.
we're gonna put you here, do thing. Okay, now get out of here. Let Jeff Wincott talk and stuff.
yeah, we'll bring you back in when we need someone to fight again.
Yeah, it's
It's weird.
strange.
It is a weird thing.
At least she gets her scorpion kick on.
Yep. I do feel like we've seen a few Rothrock movies where she did not get to do that.
There's
That's
been
a,
at least one or
that's
two.
a shame.
Yeah.
Rest of the things, and I'll give my rating. This movie, despite being mostly wholly generic, I appreciate the fact that, like I said, I cannot understate how much I love movies where people take inhuman amounts of damage before they go down.
Right.
Like I really dig that. Like I know it's fun to watch a Bourne movie where it's like, oh yeah, 2 punches and that guy's fucking out because that's real life. But it's real fun to watch a dude get hit 50 times in a row and then just be like, okay, I'm fine. You
Yes,
know?
there's a lot of that. There's a lot of just, all right, come on, motherfucker.
The other thing is like this movie occasionally is really trying in the filmmaking. They are. It doesn't always work, but there are little things. Like there is a shot where the camera just goes down the bar, like the first time you're in Club Syntax,
Yeah.
and it's like, and they're just like sliding drinks out of the way just at the right second.
Yeah.
It's like,
back and
here's
forth.
cash for drink, here's
Yeah.
drink for cash.
And there's little things like that. And obviously, someone was trying because I know this Mackey's not here, so I'll speak a little bit for him. The action geography, as we say, they were really trying because there is a shot that is clearly reversed in this, where where a cop car stunts into the scene when they're about to do the drug bust.
Yeah.
And it's reversed. Like the drivers, there's one person in the car and it's on the wrong side in America, and it's like it's clearly because they were trying to say, oh, it wouldn't make sense for this car to spin this way. That would be the exact opposite of where we are in the scene. So just reverse the shot. It's obviously painfully apparent that it's reversed, but
Yeah,
But at least they're trying to keep.
yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, the only other thing that breaks that is, like I said, the way they shoot it. It looks like Cynthia Rothrock is literally walking under the metal flooring as Spencer gets impaled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spencer for Spire.
Nice.
But yeah. So rating time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phew. For most of this movie, I was sitting at like 4 jocks. I'm not gonna lie. I'm lowering it down to 3 because I feel like the ending is just a little messy and not satisfying in the way that you want it to be. Like you should never have a movie with inhuman amounts of punishment being dealt out, and then your final act is just like, poof, 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 he went over the railing and he's dead. Poof, 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 he's over the railing and he's dead. Like, dude's got it so much worse earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
That it's like it's real weird to like, oh, we're in a foundry and this is the climax of the movie. Fuck yeah, whatever's happening here. Just to be like, oh, that guy's done now. Oh, that guy's done now. Okay, it's kind of a letdown on the ending, but like I really dug this otherwise. Like I said, this is my kind of cheesy punch dudes a whole lot. You know, kick them in the dick, punch them in the dick, stick them in the dick.
Yeah. Yeah. So before I get my rating, I want to say a thing about Evan Lurie in this. So this is a couple years before his scene-stealing performance in Hologram Man. Obviously, he at some point went to scene-stealing school to learn how to do that because, my God, he is so bad in this. Like, I can't believe it's the same guy. Like, the guy we were just like, you were fucking delightful in Hologram Man, and to a lesser extent T-Force, but he's, you know, an over-the-top bad guy, and he revels in it. And in this, he is just mumbly Joe Hitman who has a neck bigger than his face, and he can fight, don't get me wrong, but, man, he cannot talk. He hadn't got the acting down yet. So that's interesting to see, and it was kind of disappointing because I figured we were going to get some crazy overacting from him, and we didn't. So
Maybe it's just that director. It wasn't the same director for T-Force and Hologram Man.
yes.
Yeah, so maybe it's just that director
It's
brings
like, hey,
out
man, just hitting him with a belt between scenes. Just, hey, man, come on.
just put some peanut butter on the other actors. You know.
Yeah.
This was only his 3rd movie.
Right.
So
Sure.
Yeah.
He was, you know, he was learning.
He was Evan learning. Got him.
So during the fight scenes, I was like, okay, this is probably a 3 Jocks movie. But because there's so many not fight scenes, I have to bring it down to 2. I still think it's fun. The fight scenes are great. Like they are legit. Like, okay, these people can fight and they're doing cool shit. That's fun. I really am tickled to death by the whole just you're getting punched 17 times in less than a minute. That's great, and it's great every time it happens. But yeah, it's when it starts, you're like, okay, I've seen one of these before. I know where this is going. But then the movie's like, we don't know where this is going, and then it doesn't go any of the places that you thought it would necessarily. It just kind of cheats. It just kind of gets from point A to point B without actually earning it. It's just now we're here. Now you're fighting the bad guys. Now it's over. Because there's the scene where they come to the karate school to murder him and fail. But then later, Cynthia Rothrock shows up there to work out with him to exchange information, and he should be like, no, they know this is where I am. Your cover will be blown if you're here. Get out of here. They needed to meet somewhere else, but because they wanted to do this scene where they kind of spar while giving information, so it would be like a cool moment, it just logically doesn't make any sense. I just don't like how the crux of this entire movie is a bet between two of the stupidest fucking people in Los Angeles. One who has no business betting anything, and the other who is just like, I have my own sports business. I don't need to do this. It's just the dumbest setup. It is so stupid. So, I don't know. There are parts of it I really, really love, but just the story and all the non-fighting parts really drag it down. So I'm going to give it 2 jocks. It's fun. You can have a good time, but there's better stuff out there.
Kind of torn between a 2 and a 3 right now. The ending, like, towards the end of the movie, I just kind of, there was something about the dark and the fact that it didn't really feel like much was happening. I really lost track of the end of the movie, and I think I might have fallen asleep for a couple minutes, but up until sort of like that last literal 5-10 minutes of the movie, I was kind of into it despite all the dumb. Like you guys, I wish Evan Lurie was more himself, more what we've come to know him as. Spencer, that guy was just, I mean, the character was dumb, but the guy playing him was real tame. He wasn't a villain for this movie. He was just a guy. There should have been another villain on top of him somewhere. Well, not on top of him, but I mean, maybe on top of him. I don't know. Maybe it would have been more fun.
Well, one of you said somewhere in the first third of this movie, he's like, this is the nicest bad guy. He just wants the best for his workers, and, you know.
Yeah, that was in the first, 15 minutes of the movie. I was like, this guy's the nicest scumbag ever. Because he, walked up to a guy and was real nice about kicking him out of the club. It's just like, you have to go. And then he was telling Stephanie McMahon or whatever, Tiffany Michaels. Whatever. Telling Tiffany Michaels, like, no, I just really want what's best for you. You just have to do all these creepy things that I want you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard. I think I'm going to land on 2 jocks, 2 Cynthia Rothrocks. Mainly because of gross, well, it mainly loses it for gross misuse of Cynthia Rothrock again. She can carry a movie if you let her. If you write a movie for her, she can carry it. I mean, she does not deliver dialogue the best at all times, but she can do it. She's big enough, personality-wise and kicky-wise, to be able to star in a movie.
Yeah.
And they should have let her star in this movie instead of her being a pawn with a sweet scorpion kick.
I just wanted to make one small correction. We were crediting a lot of the things to James Liu. While he's in this and does the stunts, he's not one of the main dudes. Leo Lee is the main.
No,
dude.
I know.
Yeah,
He's the dude in the jacket who shows up. He's only in that. He's only in 2 scenes.
Yeah, Leo Lee's the guy that got the shotgun to the face, basically.
Yeah, that dude looks like. It's weird because he looks like Mark Dacascos with a very thin goatee, and it was until he spoke where I was like, "Is this Mark Dacascos? Is this some a little scene role that wasn't listed?" But yeah,
Anyway, yeah. I just want to make
Yes.
mild correction that while James Liu is in this, he's not the guy doing most of those scenes.
No.
Anyway,
There was one other point I wanted to make, but I've forgotten it now.
all right.
Give me 10 seconds to try to think of it. Oh, I remembered it. I did good. I remembered a thing.
All right.
One other thing. Somebody needs to dress Cynthia Rothrock better. I know it's the 90s, but
This is what she wears in every movie.
I
She
know.
likes these outfits.
I know. Somebody needs to dress her, like, give her badass outfits. They don't have to be, like, sexy. They just have to be badass. She's wearing some weird
She's always wearing mom jeans.
90s, like,
Yeah.
mom office stuff.
Always.
Like, she works at Blue Cross and Blue Shield or something, in human resources. I don't know. Somebody needs to dress Cynthia Rothrock like a badass. That's all I want. Plus 1 jocks for Cynthia Rothrock actually dressing as badass as she is. Guaranteed.
One jock said 3 Rothrocks.
Yes. Wearing some nice socks.
Some cool socks, yeah.
Yeah. Instead of those ugly frocks.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's take a break. Bye.
Yeah, that's fine. I am okay with this.
Real quick, go to the movie Tiger Claws.
I just realized I had both. Huh? I just realized I had both lower third chyrons running at the same time.
Oh, yeah?
So anyone that jumped in was probably seeing it, say, second half because one was on top of the other.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, now it's the second half. I can get rid of this. Boop, boop. There you go.
Good job. Click on Rothrock's name there.
That's your Rothrock thing?
Yeah. Go down to 1991. Tiger Claws.
Tiger Claws.
Read the first sentence of the plot description.
The police do not know what to do. The police do not know what to do. They have to deal with a serial killer who aims at martial arts masters. One after another is killed in the same brutal way. This may be a chance for Detective Linda Masterson to work on her first murder case.
Mm-hmm.
She gets the job, and to her side, and other martial arts specialist, Sergeant Tarek Richards, or Tariq.
Yeah.
Now they need to find a tiger-style master because the killer obviously uses tiger-style kung fu.
Obviously.
Not a simple task, since tiger is a very ancient and rare style.
Yeah.
Thanks, Oliver Heidelbach.
The police do not know what to do.
That's like a Google Translate, free Google Translate translation right there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. What?
Oof. Yep. Making dad noises.
Oh, wow.
What's this one with
The director of Tiger Claws also directed Kids in the Hall, Brain Candy, and Mickey Blue Eyes.
Okay.
Weird.
I was gonna say, I was like, what's this movie with? All I saw was the top of it. It was like, what's this movie with Cynthia Rothrock and Bolo Young?
Uh-huh.
It's Tiger Claws 2.
Two. Yeah. There's 3 of them.
Ooh.
I know. Tiger Clawsuary.
Tiger Clarch.
Yeah.
Ooh, Shoot Fighter 2. We need to. Did we ever watch Shoot Fighter?
No.
We should watch Shoot Fighter.
You're right.
People
Hula's
keep
not
telling.
going to listen to the podcast again until we watch Shoot Fighter.
Shoot Fighter.
Who said we weren't gonna? Someone said they weren't gonna listen.
She didn't say that. I just assumed that that's why she's not been showing up.
Who?
Hula.
Oh, okay.
Jody.
I missed the first part of that.
Ah, yeah.
Thought you meant like Cynthia Rothrock.
Our chief fartist. Fartist to the stars. Hula. Poison.
Man, we need to watch these. Man, it's like
I know.
it's got William Zabka and Martin Cove in it.
Yeah.
Shoot Fighters?
Shoot Fighter, the first does, along with Bolo Young and Miriam Diabo.
Oh, she was in License to Kill.
Mm-hmm.
Or was... No. Was she in Living Daylights?
I don't know. Living
Yeah,
Daylights.
she was in Living Daylights.
Living Daylights. It is.
I have 3 movies.
I have Dose. Oh, no, Trace. Sorry, because I forgot the other one we're both probably going to be talking
Yeah,
about.
that's... We share a movie. BJ?
Are these just 2 Shoot Fighters?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Only 2? 2 shoots?
We were going to do Shoot Fighter a long
Big
time ago,
shoots.
but the copy was bad. So I had to
Mm.
find a better copy. Which I think I did.
Oh, okay.
So. But she's not in Shoot Fighter. She's only in...
No, I know. I'm just... Bolo Young led to... Yeah.
I
this
understand.
led to this.
I understand. I get it.
And I saw William Zabka, and I was like, wait a second.
Uh-huh.
All right, should we
The
do
Tigers of Clarch. Still workshopping that joke in my head.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. I like it. Oh, wow.
What?
So if we watch Sworn to Justice with Cynthia Rothrock, we also get Brad Dourif and Mako and Chekhov.
Like, what's like?
Classic Chekhov.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Let's,
so
let's do some things.
Oh, wait. So you
what?
pre-ordered Stadia?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Just for shits and giggles.
Okay.
See what happens.
What's it? It's $129?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're getting a Chromecast Ultra, which is like $60 of it. The controller's about $60, so you're only paying like $10 over what you'd be buying things separately anyway.
Yeah.
And I figure, you know,
the code that you have is for how much off? Or anything off? Or you get just...
what do you mean? Like, I mean, I think
Didn't you say you had a code?
Well, you get 3 months of Pro or whatever they're calling it, and a 3-month code for a friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's, yeah. I'm almost wondering if you can just, I'm sure you can't, because everyone would be, all the loners like me would be like, can I just wait and redeem that code for 3 more months for me? But probably not.
You could try.
It's not going to work. They'd be like, you can't redeem this on your own account. Get a friend, you fucking loser.
Yeah, you should figure that out.
I should. But yeah, I figure we have a video game podcast up.
We do?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
When's that coming out?
Stadia? The 19th of November.
19th. Okay, so I have time.
Today,
We'll see how the
today,
bonus
today
checks
they
stack up.
finally set a hard date for the release. It was always just kind of like November, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Google had their thing either... Was it today?
I think it was yesterday.
Yesterday?
Was the event thing. So maybe it was actually yesterday. But
Because now I'm getting ads for, buy a Pixel 4. You have a Pixel 3. Why don't you buy a 4? Like, because I paid $1,000 for this phone. I don't want
I will probably
I'm
get
gonna
one through work.
keep
beginning
it
of the
till
year.
it melts.
Then I'll have 2 phones that know my face to unlock.
Wow.
Wow. Did they officially say they're getting rid of the
Oh, there's no touch.
No
there's
fingerprint?
no fingerprint. Yeah, it's all.
Fuck, I don't want to use my fucking face on everything. They already have my fingerprint. Now they have my face.
Mm-hmm. Whatever, man.
Sometimes I'm like this,
Whatever, man.
like super lazy. I don't want to have to turn my face the right way.
Apparently, it works just as well or better than a Face ID, which I've not had any problems with. People are always like, it's going to work better. I'm like, this works fine. Like, I literally have zero problem with this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it works better, great. It'd be pretty much imperceptible, but... No, they said because it's got that weird radar sensor. Like, there's a thing that knows when your hand is just even getting near your phone, so it's like it begins the face unlock thing just by bringing your phone to it. Or bringing your hand to the phone, so it's like it's
The
already...
iPhone does?
Yeah, no, the
Pixel.
yeah. They said that, like, just being in range, it's like already gearing up for, all right, are we going to unlock? You know, so it's like already spinning up the process or something.
I don't know. Hula, can you hold up a picture of yourself to unlock it?
I don't know about the Pixel. This you can't, because it's actually got that special Kinect style mapper thing. I mean, I think people, I saw someone successfully made like a fucking like
Like a 3D print of
like
somebody's face.
well, no, like a seriously like FX level of like special
face
mask.
sculpt?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like a Mission Impossible face sculpt of somebody, and they're like, yeah, we got it to work. It's like, yeah, no fucking shit. Like,
It's a perfect recreation of somebody's actual face.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy to clone fingerprints and everything. I just like the convenience.
Mm-hmm.
It's real smooth for me to use my fingerprint.
I've
and I don't want
gotten so used to just this, and it's ready to go. You know,
Yeah.
so it's not a big deal to me. I do like. I mean, I'm sure it's a gimmicky thing, and I might never use it, but I like that you can be like, whoop, to like dismiss a call or move or switch songs with that radar thing. But I'll probably never use it. It's my work phone.
I've had a couple phones that have that have gesture control, and when they had it, it was definitely not time for it. That was
Well, that's
you know,
because they were
4,
just
5 or
using
6 years
a
ago.
regular camera. This like supposedly has a
Sensor.
like they're actually calling it a radar, like like pinging out
Yeah.
where you are. So who knows? Time will tell.
Yeah, I'll probably be creaming my pants about the Pixel 4 in a month. I'll throw this one into the ocean.
Yeah. Let's talk about some movies, shall we?
Nah. I don't have any
All right.
movies to talk
Sorry, I
about.
have to click this just because. Like what? Oh. Okay. Great. Anyway. All right, welcome back.
Hey, BMFcast.
Yeah.
BMFcast.
Second half time.
Ow.
Woo.
Now.
Let's talk about some movies.
Okay.
Well, I watched nothing but brand new ass movies. So, do you want to go ahead and talk about our movie first?
Yeah, let's get our movie out of the way.
Okay. Now, keep in mind we are going to be very vague about this because not only is it a pretty brand new movie, it's a continuation of a thing that if you haven't watched it would be super spoilery. So,
Yes.
we're going to talk about El Camino,
El Camino.
a Breaking Bad movie.
Okay.
Yes.
Because as you might have listened last week, I finished watching Breaking Bad. I've begun Better Call Saul. So I really I jumped in the right time because I had very little. I can have almost all the Breaking Bad related things I want besides making them hurry up and make more seasons of Better Call Saul.
Yeah. You
I have very little waiting to do. It's all just like, oh, look at all this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the movie's out already? Okay, great. I'll watch that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this without being spoilery, the second half of the final season of Breaking Bad very much is like mostly forget everybody else. We're telling Walter White's story from here on out. It's very much him focused. It's like everyone else kind of fades in the background. And for a show that was not equal parts, but like 60-40 about Walter and Jesse, it was just like, yeah, huge things are happening to Jesse. We're not going to focus on them. It's just like, this is happening to him. Deal with it. It's not important right now, really. So this movie is just like, I guess enough people, or maybe it was the plan all along, just kind of said like, hey, what about Jesse? Like, we went through some shit the last part of that season, and what happened to him? So they were just like, here's a movie that's about half continuation and half flashbacks. Maybe not quite. It's maybe a little more continuation than flashbacks.
70-30.
Yeah, it's an equal trade-off of like, well, we're going to show you more of what happened during the extended, like there's a large time jump in Breaking Bad in the final season. Not large, but like
large
at
enough.
least a 6 month to a year time jump.
Right.
And it's just like this. Here's what was happening to him and during that, also other times, and what's going on moving forward. So I've said all that. Do you have any thoughts?
I think the one specific thing I would say about it is, like, as an informational kind of thing, if you finish Breaking Bad but maybe haven't started Better Call Saul or somewhere in the middle, don't worry, it doesn't spoil any of Better Call Saul. It basically ignores that.
Right.
I was a little worried with you not being at the end of Better Call Saul where we were, that it was going to do some sort of Better Call Saul tie-in. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It
sort of mildly offhandedly mentions him, I think, is about it.
Yes, he is mentioned, but it is in no way a spoiler of any kind.
No. No, it's basically it is like, if you saw Breaking Bad and you want more, here it is. It's like, if you watch Better Call Saul, cool, that's its own other thing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And I think, I think, as we said, I was a little worried about this going into it. Like, did it need to exist? And then I thought, well, I'm sure he wouldn't make it if he didn't have an idea for it. And the idea is, let's wrap up Jesse's story. Let's give him the closure that Walter got. Not specifically, but let's wrap up his story and not leave it as hanging as it was at the end of the actual series. And it's totally fine. It is totally fine. It's a gorgeous thing. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, so Vince Gilligan actually directed this. Did he direct any episodes of
A
this?
few.
Did he? Okay.
And a handful.
Okay. Because I mean, like, I just when I was thinking about that, I was like, aren't you mostly a writer and
Yeah.
creator? Like, I don't remember you being a director, and that's always a little worrisome to me.
Well, towards the end, he started doing like the season premiere and the season finale
Oh, okay.
stuff. So it was like,
So-
he directed. Oh, shit's going
so
down.
So maybe he's trying to position himself more like a Joss Whedon, like you know,
Maybe.
like, hey, you know, look, I can direct too. I have done it, and give me a big movie.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah.
Or write your own big movie. I mean, you're a writer.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe that's what it is. I thought it looked great and good to fine, or good to great. I mean, it was somewhere in between. It wasn't as amazing as some of the episodes were. Like
No.
there's some amazing filmmaking going on in that show, especially for a TV show. And I think the thing this does particularly well that maybe the show never slowed down enough to do much of, but like there's downright suspenseful shit in this movie.
Yep.
Like it's like there is like, oh shit. Like I feel like Breaking Bad, the majority of the suspense was we have gotten ourselves into a situation, but it was never like, I guess it's the difference of Jurassic Park sequels versus the Jurassic Park Raptor kitchen scene. Like this is more like personal and immediately getting caught versus like big game, you know, like big vision stuff, you know, like
Right.
we might get caught as a whole. This is like literally the cops are in the room. I've got to sneak out kind of thing, like that kind of situations. And it's like it's interesting like that because
Yeah. I mean, there's stuff in flashbacks that's stressful, just because it's well directed, but you're not necessarily worried because it's a flashback, and
Right.
you're like, okay, I think I know things are going to be fine here.
mostly.
But it does do things in all of the uncharted territory scenes, basically, I guess you could call them, where you're just like, you honestly don't know where this is going.
Oh yeah, no, you don't know what kind of ending this is going to have at all.
Yeah. You don't know what they are going to hit you with, basically. And, you know, I kind of liken it to it. What it feels like is a series of, like, it's better than this. I'm not trying to negate what it actually is. It feels like a series of post Breaking Bad webisodes about Jesse that they strung together, because it's kind of compartmentalized into moments. Like the plot isn't overarching throughout it. It's like there's something he has to deal with, and then here's some backstory about that, and here's the resolution of that. Now move on to the next situation. Here's some backstory about that. Here's the resolution to that, and so forth. So it's like 3 or 4 mini Jesse Pinkman adventures, but don't take that as in like it's adventurous. It's kind of solemn and I wouldn't say joyful, but it has some very amusing moments in it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess I can't really say that thought without being spoilery, but just depending on where you were in Breaking Bad, let's just say Jesse is not the same person he was in like the first 3 or 4 seasons.
No.
He is a broken person by
Yes.
this point in
Yes.
this. So like, you know, I don't even know if he said bitch once, you know, which is, you know, crazy to think about early Jesse. That was like his thing. Like,
Right.
you know, there's just like, there's long swaths of this movie where he says nothing at all.
Yeah.
You know, like, cause he's fucking broken, you know, like, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's good. Like, I mean, I've seen a lot of weird takes on this of like, oh, it's wholly unnecessary. I'm like,
Everything's
bit,
unnecessary.
Yeah, I was like, every bit of fiction is fucking unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
you
no
know,
federal mandate
yeah,
that
like,
says there has to
you
be
didn't
this.
have to make this. It's like, well, no, I didn't have to make any fucking thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but
It's nice. It's
yeah,
a nice return to that universe, and
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like a cheap cash in.
no, not at all. I think it's better than that, and it's better than a lot of like, let's return to this. Like, I think it's better than the Deadwood movie. You know, it's like don't get me wrong, like the Deadwood movie's fine, and it's like it's
Yeah.
kind of nice to like have. It's kind of weird and nice to have that time jump. Like this one is like, obviously a little time has passed and we're just pretending that it hasn't.
Right.
Especially with certain actors. I mean, like
Yeah.
Aaron Paul a little bit himself, but like Jesse Plemons, it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
dude, like
At first, they were obscuring him, and
Yeah.
I thought, okay, this makes sense. But then there are large scenes with him, and you're like, oh, they just don't care.
Yeah, they're just like, whatever, deal with it. Yeah.
He gained 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. Yeah.
It's been 6 years.
Right. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's some weird stuff like that where you have to do suspension of disbelief kind of stuff. But,
Sure.
yeah,
Whatever.
no, I mean, I think it's like, if you're just anti the whole thing, fine, hate watch it away, and this thing didn't exist. But like, if you like the show, it's like, well, here's a resolution for this person.
I think it's a very compelling resolution
Yeah.
for him.
Exactly. I mean,
So.
that's the thing. Is like, I think it's fine. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And if you don't need that, you
Just
can
skip it.
Like the way Breaking Bad ends for him, you can just imagine whatever you want for
Mhm.
him.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
yeah, it's good. It's fine. Not
Mm-hmm.
great. Good. Solid.
Well, guess what? Are you ready for some more of that sentiment?
Yes.
Because man, do I have that in spades.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Which one do I want to do first?
Mm.
Well, all right. I guess I'll start with the most meh of the two, and then maybe move on to slightly more positive.
Okay.
I watched Stuber,
Stuber.
that Batista and
Oh.
Kumail Nanjiani
yeah.
thing.
They're in a car together.
Uh huh.
Okay. Stuber.
Okay, so first off, it's yet another one of those. It's a comedy, but we're trying real hard to make it a competent action movie with a plot.
Mm.
So, if those are your jam, that weird little subgenre like Game Night and The Spy Who Dumped Me and other things that I'm forgetting right now.
Get smart.
Get smart. Well, sort of.
I know.
I mean, I'm saying this more modern.
Central Intelligence.
Central Intelligence. Yeah, like these things where they're like, for some reason, we're trying real hard to make this a compelling, weird thing.
Mhm.
I just out of those ones I just listed, it's the one I'm probably gonna remember the least. And
Okay.
I know a lot of people are that way about The Spy Who Dumped Me. I thought The Spy Who Dumped Me was actually pretty fucking good, especially in an action regard.
Okay.
Like that one was like really well directed in the action sequences.
Well, and Game Night also.
Yeah,
is,
that's what I mean.
Should not be as good as it
That's
is.
what I mean. Like I mean those two, it's like holy shit, you spattered in a action movie in the middle of this dumb adult comedy thing.
Right.
You know, this is the same kind of thing. It's like, hey, we say fuck and also like look, action sequence. So I honestly I had to look up the rating when I started the movie because I was like, because there's like someone makes a joke right off the bat where like Batista's like, oh, this freaking thing, and someone actually, it's weird because there's a strange Guardians of the Galaxy reunion because Karen Gillan's in this for a hot minute.
Oh.
And she's like his partner in the beginning, and she's like, "Frickin' really?" And she's like, "Yeah, my daughter's been on me about my swearing." And I was like, "Oh, okay, so it's a swerve. This is actually about to say fuck a lot." Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
IMDb trivia.
yeah.
Bautista and Karen Gillan were actually in a movie together called Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. Well, I mean, the other thing is like they straight up use they use one of the Guardians songs in the soundtrack. Like it's like this
Mr.
over.
Blue Sky.
No, I can't remember the name of the song. I hear it in my head, but I can't remember the name of it.
Sing it. Perform it.
No.
Okay.
If you are ever having a bad day, you just need to listen to either Volume 1 or Volume 2 soundtrack, and you will instantly...
I'm just saying, like
Have a
between
great
like
day.
they showed up and I was like, aha, look, it's Drax and Nebula together, and then like that song came in, and I was like, all right, really, like that song. I mean, I'm not saying that those movies created those songs, but it's like,
Sure.
that for a few years now, they're pretty memorable to being Guardians of the Galaxy songs for most people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sort of like it took till the Guardians of the Galaxy before people stopped going like, oh, it's the fucking Ally McBeal dancing baby song for Ooga Shaka, Ooga Ooga. You know
Oy.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
remember that? It was
Yeah.
like you couldn't play that without somebody going like, "Hi, it's the Ally McBeal thing."
I remember.
Anyway, but yeah, it's fine. It's like it's not amazing, but that's the weird thing is like it's still worth a watch. Like there are some legit good jokes in this, like and some pretty decent action stuff. Like I said, I just feel like you give me a month and things from this are really going to start to fade from my memory. That's not to say that there isn't some really funny stuff. Plus, like how the fuck do how bad am I gonna butcher his name? The dude from the Raid is in it. Iko Uwais. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he's like one of the bad dudes, and he's obviously good at martial arts and shit.
I'm Not in Love
Uwais.
is the name of the song that appears in both Guardians of the Galaxy
Thank you.
and Stuber.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
But Thanks for cross-checking that. I assume you went to both listings on IMDb and checked the soundtrack.
No, it's the first
of
trivia. Yeah, it's like
God damn it.
Dave Bautista and Cat Gillian appeared in the MCU together, and their song is also in that movie.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Stuber's got some weird, like, Miro Sorvino's in it. And, yeah.
good for her.
How much have you seen Miro Sorvino lately? Not a
Well,
lot, really.
You're good for her.
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
Yeah. Betty Gilpin's in it, too. So,
Oh,
you know, if you're,
well.
Hey.
if you're into the glow stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just saying it's worth watching. It's just one of those, like I said, it's going to fade from my memory faster than some of those. But there's some legit good jokes, and there's a point where like Kumail Nanjiani is just like he's fucking over it, and it's like when he's just done with the whole thing, it's like him just giving shit to Dave Bautista, who's like 4 times his size. It's just kind of fucking hilarious, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's whatever. It's fine. It's a movie that you can watch.
I love those. I love those a lot.
You know, I mean, I feel like sometimes I'm like I feel like I'm shitting on a movie, and it's like, no, it's worth watching once. It's just like I'm giving you the long-term review. Of
it's
like,
a consumable.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's like, yeah, that was fun, and it's gone.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay.
Arguably, do you have another movie, right?
I have 2 other movies.
Are they newish?
One is.
Okay. Do you want to do one? So
Yeah, I
break me up?
do.
Okay.
Speaking of the MCU,
Uh-huh.
I watched Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
That man, you know, I feel like I was expecting more from that movie. Homecoming, I love so much. I really love Homecoming. This felt like a huge step down from that. It's still a very good Spider-Man movie. It's saddled with the fact that it has to deal with everything after the snap. And the way it deals with it is to basically make it all a joke. Most of it. The movie... Okay, first of all, Robert Downey Jr. had better have earned a paycheck for just his randomness appearance in this film, because he is a presence in this movie, even though he's not in it.
Sure.
So there's that. But there's... After that entire storyline, the 20-plus movies that got to and ended with Endgame, I feel like because Endgame had so much to do, and then you get to the end where stuff happens, and then it's like, okay, we've got to wrap this up. We're done. We're out. Movie's over. And then so here's the next MCU thing. And while it has some genuine emotion, at times it never stops for a second to let you process it, ever. It's just, sad thing happened, and okay, here's a funny haha about how, you know, he was kind of a dick, or, you know, stuff like that.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to say it without being spoilery to any of it, but like, I feel like
I honestly think the Endgame stuff is like open season to talk about.
Well, I meant more like from Far From Home.
Oh,
and
okay,
stuff.
sure.
I meant like, I feel like the movie does a thing where it's like, here's the grief, and everyone's processing it like everyone does every fucking tragedy. I mean, that's the weird thing is I feel like Far From Home is a very genuine movie because everyone that's not a fucking superhero is acting just like people act, in that here was this massive thing. The entire fucking universe was saved by these people. Some of them died, and they're like, yeah, good on you, thoughts and prayers, and fucking move on with their life. And that's what, you know, the real world does. It's like, here's a catastrophic thing that happened 2 days later. It's like, yeah, but, you know, 9/11, right? And it's like, wait, what? Like, do you want to just like, reflect and like, you know, take it in for a little bit longer and have some respect? But no, everything's fucking memeified now.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, okay, that happened. And honestly, I think the way that movie opens is hilarious with that song and stuff. And
I mean,
because that's what fucking high school kids would do, thinking they're doing a legit tribute thing.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh my God, yes.
I don't disagree
I'd
with
forgotten
that.
about that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, because I mean, I feel like, all right, so Tom Holland, obviously, you know, Peter Parker, whatever, he's a little more directly connected to all of that, you know, and it's not just like, it's not tertiary people. It's like, thanks, magical space gods. You know, it's more like, these were my friends,
Right.
in some cases, and
Yeah.
it's like, when he's alone and like able to actually reflect, that dude is acting his fucking ass off about being sad.
yeah,
You know, and it's like that stuff's really good. And then I I like the fact that it's like, well, we've got to move on. We can't be sad forever in the MCU. That's not what the MCU is about. We leave that for DC bullshit. But like we've got to move on from this. And like the truth be told, these people's contracts just ended, and they wanted to fucking move on with their lives.
Sure.
But like I like the fact that it's like, here's the thing. He's acting. He's sad. He's obviously going through some shit. And then it's like Robert Downey Jr. from Beyond the Grave. Spoilers, I know, but everyone fucking knows this now. But
I know.
From Beyond the Grave is still being fucking Tony Stark, and that's amazing.
Yes.
Like
absolutely. Just
yeah.
Just the acronym of the classes.
Yes. When I heard that, I nearly lost my shit.
Yeah.
I was like, that's great.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to get at in terms of how the world dealt with the aftermath of the snap, and then what they start calling the blip, which is just everyone came back.
Of course.
Is that in Endgame, it was devastating to the world, obviously. Like, people got in houseboats, and they all just, came to New York and just settled in major metropolitan areas, and there's trash everywhere, and everything's shit. And in this, everything's fine. Everything's clean and shiny, and everyone is just worked out there. Well, these people came over and took my house because I blipped out, but now I came back, so...
Yeah, but I mean, do you know the real reason behind that? Because they were only given tidbits of what was going to happen. They weren't given, like, the enormous... They were like,
yes,
here's the main story beats, Sony. Have fun with that.
Right.
And then they were just like, go
that.
make your movie.
I just feel like... I realize that movies are incredibly difficult to plan, and you had to do this when you did it, and that's fine. I just feel like there needed to be an MCU movie between Endgame and this one to let this one have the kind of jovial tone about that. But there are some insane real-world logistics that had to have been dealt with, and this movie's just like, yeah, those got fixed anyway.
I mean,
and I understand it's a comic book movie. I get it.
Honestly, if obviously I'm not, but if I was like Kevin Feige, I would have planned for Doctor Strange 2 to happen right after Endgame. That would have been the perfect that would have been the perfect okay, Doctor Strange has some shit to deal with.
Right.
Post this, and also it's a proper MCU movie. It's you're not as heavily invested character, and then you could start to elevate Doctor Strange to be like, no, he's going to be really important going forward, kind of thing.
Right. That does make sense.
I'm saying it also feels like it's time. I
Yes.
feel like that was we should be on Doctor Strange 2 by now. I feel like so.
Yeah.
But that's just saying that would have been the one I'd be like, Doctor Strange 2 is our first post Endgame movie, and Spider-Man you can come out in August.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that being said, I like where this movie goes. I don't think it's terrific, but I do like it. I like all the Mysterio stuff. I like it. I like the stuff that they do. I would have been fine with it the way they initially set it up, and then the way it does go, I'm like, I'm fine with that too. Whatever. It
does feel like less than Homecoming though.
Well, Homecoming had it had an absolute theme to it, and I don't mean just like the 80s teen movie vibe that it was projecting, but it had a cohesive Spider-Man theme to it, and this it's just saddled with so much stuff it has to deal with. It has to deal with everything after Endgame, and that's, I don't know, it kind of gets in the way of a good time Spider-Man adventure because you've got all this Endgame aftermath to deal with, and I just wish there had been some other way to deal with all of that, and this could have just been its own thing.
Yeah, I don't think you can have that not with the relationship they made with Tony and Peter.
I know.
You can't just be like, well, he's over it.
Right. So
he's lost multiple dads.
Yeah. I can just in my brain substitute the leftovers for that time of everyone dealing with everything and just
Peter's lost 3 dads.
Yeah, he's
my 3 dads. My 3 dead dads.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's my 3 dads. Yeah.
It's totally fine. Ultimately, at the end of this, it kind of just felt like an Ant-Man movie to me. It's like it's insignificant. It was entertaining. It's like Stuber.
The villainy stuff is that there's a lot of the rest of that movie that's not necessarily just an Ant-Man movie, but all the stuff having to do with Mysterio is might as well be some Ant-Man shit that nobody cares about.
Well, I think because the 2 Ant-Man movies have
some fighting words to certain people.
Well,
there's some big fans of Big Ol' Fishbowl.
I know, but I mean, in this,
Yeah, I know.
in this,
I think
I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal was really good. In
he
this.
was, yes.
like
He
exceptionally good.
acted the hell out of it, especially for as dumb of a reason like that they gave him to be a villain.
And I like the fact that I read that he insisted on staying in that costume in every scene. Like, he wanted to wear it. Like, they had written scenes where he was not wearing the costume. And he was like, no, I'm wearing this. I would be like, yeah, I'm fucking wearing it too.
Oh, it's because he's an actual comic dude. Like,
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal likes comics.
Yeah.
and So I'm pretty sure if, like, not that it's going to happen. I mean, look at me. I'm over 40 and I'm out of shape. And somebody said, like, you get to be Batman. I'd be like, I'm never fucking taking the Batman costume off. Fuck Bruce Wayne.
Look,
I'm like, you give me one tuxedo and a fucking Lamborghini. There's your Bruce Wayne scene. The rest of the time, I am fucking Batman.
look, you've seen Parks and Recreation.
That's true, yeah.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it ain't happening. I can do a Batman voice, though.
We can all do a Batman voice. Yours is pretty good, though.
Thank you.
So anyway, that's
We should all be Batmans for Halloween.
All right. So that's your new movie?
That's my new
Is-
movie.
Is the other one not as new?
no.
All right. Well, speaking of Disney, I don't
Great
know.
job.
I got nothing.
Terrific.
All right, so I decided to finally watch my second one, the live action, the animated to live action things. I had to know about The Lion King.
Oh, okay.
all right,
Yeah. I mean, I watched what I said was probably arguably my second favorite animated Disney movie. Lion King, by far and away, is my favorite one.
Okay.
That's not Pixar.
Right.
So I had to see the live action thing.
Okay.
Okay. Well, no. I mean, like, it's weird because I'm very mixed on this one, and I don't. As much as I love The Lion King, this one had the potential to piss me off, and yet I don't understand. As much as I care about certain things, I don't understand why remakes, redos, everything. Like, the worst thing I will just say is like, oh well, that sucked. Like, comparatively, so forget that. Like RoboCop or Total Recall. You know, it's
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
you know what I'm saying?
forgot about
Like,
both those.
I'm saying, like, those are like, yep, that's extremely shitty compared to the original. And, you know, I mean, RoboCop's even, the new one is like fine on its own.
It's totally fine, but
It's-
it's instantly forgettable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, if it wasn't for Michael Keaton being a bad guy and that, it's like, I probably would have forgotten it even existed at all until now. But, you know, like,
That movie also has Sam Jackson and Gary Oldman in it.
it's true. It's true. But my point is, like, I just, when it comes to these remake things, I'm like, I don't get angry. I'm just like, well, you know, I'm not weird that I didn't like Lady Ghostbusters because I thought it was not a good movie, not because it was ladies or you're changing something or you're you know, denigrating the fucking holy shrine that is original Ghostbusters or some bullshit. It's like, Ghostbusters is still there, I can go watch it. I just thought that was not a particularly great movie.
Right.
This was weird because I think certain scenes work better in this than they do in the original movie, and some scenes are so hard, like so hard, like just fucking like you're going for a grand slam and it's just like it's hitting the glove in the back and it's like, wow,
It's like, I got this.
major fucking whiff.
Oh.
Like, because like, all right, spoilers, I guess, for a 25-year-old movie. If you never saw The Lion King,
Oh shit!
I guess.
Here we go.
I mean, if you've never seen a Disney movie,
Does it have the sex grass?
I was going to actually get to that. Strangely enough,
all right,
yeah,
all right.
okay. That's one of my
Okay.
that's one of my points. All right, Mufasa dies. I don't know if you know this, but yeah, Mufasa dies in The Lion King, and Simba thinks it's his fault, and that's why he runs off until he grows up. The way that plays out in the live action one is fucking gut wrenching.
Okay.
And because it's like, I feel like the scene breathes longer. Like it's not just like, oh shit, my dad's dead, and Scar's immediately like, it's your fault, get the fuck out of here. Like, he runs over and is like pawing at him like, Dad, are you okay? You know, and it's like, holy shit. Like,
Is it
it's-
also because it's a more realistic looking?
Sure, it's a
animal
real
than-
fucking, I mean, well, you know, it's a
Real-ish.
real-ish looking lion. Yeah, with a cute ass real-ish lion cub
Yeah.
pawing at his
No.
dead dad, just like Peter Parker. But
Jesus Christ.
but yeah, so,
We are so
wrong. I know.
eh,
Yeah,
awful.
Yeah.
Just everything.
But yeah,
wrong.
like that scene hits really hard. Other things are just bad. Like, I mean, like I was not digging who was doing young Simba's voice, and then the second like Donald Glover came in, it was like, yay! Like this just got better.
Right.
I'm not nothing wrong against the kid who's doing it. I'm just like,
You're
it
a big
just
Jonathan Taylor Thomas fan.
yeah. I'm a huge JTT fan. That's the main thing.
I
Yeah.
understand.
No, I feel like it just was kind of wrong. I don't know. He was just kind of kid-like and annoying. He was child acting. Like I am saying things loud, and it's like, and like Donald Glover comes in and is like, "Fuck yeah, like do this." Yeah.
Okay.
I thought Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner were pretty good Timon and Pumbaa replacements. I mean, like,
Is Billy Eichner doing Billy Eichner or?
yeah, they're updated. They're more like they sound sort of like jaded millennials. Like their jokes and their back and forth.
But is it Billy Eichner doing?
Oh, he's
his,
not. Well, he's not
his
yelling.
shtick?
He's not like the Billy on the street thing. It's just
Okay,
like
okay,
yeah.
all right.
He's
I
not
can
like
watch
he's
it
not
then.
like I'm Timon and why is this warthog here? Like, yeah, no, he's not doing that. He's like
Okay.
he's toned down Billy Eichner. And dude can sing. Like I mean I like when they first like I was like the first thing he did that was kind of musical. I was like, guys, you're not like dumb enough to just think just because you got a gay dude that he can sing, right? And then like later he fucking busts something out. I was like, holy shit, okay, actually he can. So I mean, because at first I was just like, it's not, it doesn't come part and parcel. Like like you just aren't suddenly a musical genius because you like other dudes, like. But then he like belted something out. And I was like, oh shit, actually he can. Okay, it's Seth Rogen who's just like, I don't know, I'm singing, because people say I sound like him anyway, so I don't have to do much. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because it's fine, and there are certain scenes that, like I said, they work better. What was kind of a brief throwaway joke in the original with the "Lion Sleeps Tonight" song, they flesh into more of a song, or they do more of it, and it's real good. Like, and to the point, the SFX, or the sex grass, if you will, it was SFX, but it's what
Sex grass.
Sure, the sex
Sex
grass. Well, that's kind of weird because there's the scene where Nala kind of gives him the sex eyes while she's laying in grass, so that could be the sex grass.
Sex grass.
I meant the sex grass in the sky.
In the sky, yeah. They also toned that down. It wasn't like a lioness was like, hey, let's fuck, quite as much as the animated version.
Aw.
So that was good, I guess.
Damn it.
Yeah, Beyonce lion wasn't as like thirsty as
Thirsty?
Yeah,
Oh,
as the-
thirsty Beyonce line.
But yes, the scene where the infamous sex grass happens, the catalyst, if you remember, is he plops down on the ground, a tuft of his hair blows in the wind, and Rafiki finds it and is like, holy shit, Simba's alive. The way that plays out in this is pretty clever. Like the thing is, like, this is directed by Jon Favreau, going back to Iron Man.
Yeah, I was going
Spider-Man.
to say, you could have said, speaking of Jon Favreau.
I could
'cause
have,
he
yes.
was
I thought of that just
in
now.
Spider-Man, yeah.
So like there are some good filmmaking choices, like the thing that gets his fur into Rafiki's hands is pretty clever in this. It's much more extended, and it's not just like, yeah, the wind blew it like 50, 60, 100 miles, however the fucking far way he ran from the Pride Lands, is because like this is like you're crossing deserts and all this shit. Like he went far, like so the sequence that gets the tuft of mane back to him is pretty clever. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. If you're prone to be angry at a remake of something that you like, obviously don't watch it. I mean, I feel like the weirdest thing I could say, besides certain people maybe not being cast in the right parts, or honestly, I wouldn't even say that. I feel like there were some heavy hitters in the cast of this movie, and they were just like in small roles, and I was like, more of them, please. Like Alfre Woodard's awesome, and she's like Nala's mom or some
Right.
shit. It's like. That's like 2 lines. Like it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Or actually, I don't know. She's either Simba's mom or Nala's mom, because it's her and Penny Johnson Gerald, or Gerald Johnson. Which is it? I always reverse her
Penny
names.
Johnson Gerald.
Yeah, they're the 2 mothers of Simba and Nala, and I can't remember. Like one of them has like 2 lines, and it's like, well, why'd you get them? Like, like it could have been literally anybody. But yeah. Anyway. If you get angry by remakes, obviously don't watch it. But I was getting to the thing that I think is the most weird and distracting for a big budget movie like this in Disney is, I know perhaps people are over the let's go with live action animals talking, but I felt like they barely animated their mouths moving. It's like if we're going to go like, yeah, the lions and everything are talking, do a better job of animating their mouths. Like I feel like we were doing this better back in like Cats and Dog days and Babe than we were in like this major fucking Disney movie now with a huge cast of known people.
They made all the Buddies movies.
Yeah. I just it's weird because like characters like Timon, who's like, a little meerkat, it's like they fully animate his mouth, but all the lines are like, here, talking now. It's like, are you just trying to like have it both ways? Like it's in their
How
heads.
realistically would a lion speak?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's just like they're all
lion
talking.
would just
It's weird. It's like I said, that was just like a weird nitpick. It was like just animate their mouths more. Like if we're doing this, let's fucking do it. Like they talk and their mouths move, but
right.
just animate. Just show it. Yeah,
I agree.
like I said, it's worth watching. I guess if I had to see of all of them. I had to see this one.
Well, it's perfectly understandable.
Yeah. I'm actually, I know they're on a kick of like just fucking make these things live action. I'm surprised that nowhere along the way did they attempt to make a movie version of the stage version of the Lion King musical, because a lot of people like that and it's super stylized and it's obviously people doing, I'm surprised that they just never like Mamma Mia this thing and just be like, let's just turn it into a movie, because people can't go to the stage thing. I'm very surprised about several popular stage things that have never gotten turned into a movie yet. Like, where's the Book of Mormon movie? Like, I know we're probably not quite to Hamilton days, but it's like, Jesus Christ, you want to make a fucking boatload of money, get that shit out in the theater.
Well, I think they're waiting for Hamilton to taper off, and it hasn't yet.
Sure.
So, yeah, Book of Mormon might be the same thing, although it might also be a hard sell.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I don't know. I mean, I feel like even before that there was things like, wasn't Avenue Q like pretty popular, and that's like a kind of raunchy Sesame Street thing or some shit. Like, I mean, I'm saying like I thought that was a popular thing for a while, and it's like that definitely tapered off, and it's like it just, to me, it seems like it's a no-brainer to turn Broadway shows into movies if it's feasible, like, because it's a thing that you want to talk about arts that are for very few people. I mean, I don't know. It's some weird.
Well, I think they're about to live or die on the Cats movie.
Well, that's
everyone
We
is
shall
either
see.
horrified or fascinated by that, so we'll see how that goes.
But I mean, that's one of those things. Like,
Or it's-
Cats hasn't been fucking relevant in nearly 20
I know.
years.
I
I mean,
know.
like that's like you waited too goddamn long, and
Yeah.
you made
You
it a
mean ever?
well, that too. I mean, I mean, like there was a hot minute you couldn't get a ticket to Cats.
Oh, sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
I loved it. It was better.
But then
than Cats.
everyone said it was better than Cats.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna see
fuck
it
you,
again
Cats.
and again.
Um,
But yeah, I Lion King. Watch it if you want to.
sure. Speaking of musicals,
Oh, okay.
Kind of.
I'm all right.
no,
I'm
this is it's a weak link.
I'm not in it anymore.
I watched for the first time ever Sucker Punch.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
I guess I just always assumed you'd seen that.
Nope,
Okay.
I hadn't.
Quote unquote musicals.
There's a musical number in it,
Yeah.
which I will just go ahead and say is the best part of that film. And
Is that
That's in Oscar Isaac.
yeah, Love is a Drug.
Love is yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of wish that the movie had grown out of that instead of whatever the fuck else is happening in that
Yeah.
movie. So, okay, so here's the thing. I went into this movie, whatever I knew about this movie when it initially came out left my brain entirely. I knew there was a fantasy element to this movie. That's it. That's all I knew. That is all I knew. The one thing that I knew about the outside conversation about this movie was the recent discourse about this movie in certain circles, and it had led me to believe that someone was going to be raped every 7 seconds in this movie.
Okay.
So I was confused about this movie, what it was going to be, whatever. It is such an odd thing. On one hand, when it was over, I was like, you know what? I was interested in that start to finish because I didn't know what was going on or where it was going, and the soundtrack is amazing. On the other hand, bro, what the fuck? Like, what are you trying to say?
I have no idea.
And that is... It is all style. All style. and there's no substance to it.
That's the thing is, like, I feel like there's substance. I'm just not sure what it is. That's the weird thing. Like, I feel like there's a thing, maybe a message. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't know I don't know where to land on it.
Like she's taken to the hospital, and I understand like her brain kind of fractures and creates this alternate reality of this club, and it's still awful there, but it's a little bit better than the hospital. But then where that goes from there is I can't even explain what my brain was doing when these things happened, but because it has to become a heist movie and characters have to steal objects because reasons, and then every time the main character dances, it becomes this gigantic, ridiculous fantasy sequence that is like part heavy metal, part I don't know what the fuck, and it just... I get what you're trying to say in terms of like why this is happening, but also why is it happening? Like why are these sequences so outlandish? Why are they so over the top? Why are they so ridiculous? Why do they go on forever? Like by the fourth fantasy sequence when they are just shooting faceless robots for 12 straight minutes on a train to defuse a bomb in a future city near Saturn or whatever, it's like, dude, what are you saying? What are you doing? And the movie never bothers to tie it together. It's just like, oh, this is a thing that happened. Anyway, here's what happened to this person. Oh, well.
I mean, I feel like Sucker Punch in a normal world should have been just about the end of Zack Snyder's career. And I don't say that like it's a terrible movie. I think it's just up until that point, everything he'd done was adapted. Mm-hmm. It was like, hey, I'm going to do a remake of Dawn of the Dead. Hey, I'm going to do 300. Hey, I'm going to do this. You know, it's like everything was like, we were presenting you visually interesting things. Go to town. Mm-hmm. And this was the first time where it was like, this is my idea. And it's like, and I feel like the whole world was like, well, fuck your ideas, dude. Like that's weird and stupid. Like, yeah. But in a normal world, I feel like that would have been the end of his career. Or at least like, all right, back to, you know, you're McG now. Just go make a random fucking movie that we're going to make no fanfare about you doing it.
Right.
You know? Like,
or at least go back to just adapting some other things.
Sure.
You know, because 300 was really quite fine.
Oh yeah, I love the Dawn of the Dead remake, and I'm skipping something in his before he got to Sucker Punch.
Frank's Red Hot, the movie.
What?
I don't know.
What else did Zack Snyder do? What am I skipping?
I don't know.
Oh god damn it! You're gonna
make me
internet.
Hang on. Watchmen.
Yes, that was a big thing. That was
also Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Gahuli.
Wait, he actually made that?
Yeah.
Holy fuck! I never knew that.
That preview I have seen 100,000 times. I think it was in front of every DVD that came out around that time. Mm-hmm. And the trailer was in 1,000, you know, in front of every movie.
I think it was something he could make while everyone was in training for Sucker Punch, because apparently they were all in training for like 18 months to do whatever ridiculous bullshit.
But you know what I'm saying? That was probably based on some book or some dumb shit, you know? Like, that was probably some young adult fiction or kid's book or some shit, you know, whatever.
Sure. Which one? Gahuli?
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm saying, like, I mean, I feel like that should have been the end of, like, all right, you're now off to, like, just... you know, you make a movie under budget, like you know, like that land of like, point a camera, like just you never get to write a movie ever again.
Yeah,
well, which I mean, maybe he hasn't actually.
Well,
I mean,
because he went into Man of Steel, after Sucker Punch, and then Batman v Superman, and Justice League.
Did he have any writing parts in that, or just like, here's your script from Zach Penn or some person?
He has the story credit for Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And the story credit for Justice League.
That's a weird, especially the Wonder Woman one. That's especially weird because that's fairly close to the actual Wonder Woman origin story, as I recall. You know, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and right now he's filming.
I wouldn't have trusted him with writing anything about Wonder Woman.
No. But he's filming a zombie movie right now.
A zombie movie.
Okay.
That he did not write.
Anyway, I just like that.
Yeah. See, I knew so little about the film that when I was watching it, I was like, okay, obviously this is a graphic novel of some kind because it has to be that like these are the 4 volumes of this graphic novel.
Eventually, she's going to turn into a
she will
battleship.
She will achieve her final form or whatever, and but it doesn't do that. I get the point A to point B to point C stuff in that movie. It's just the why is this overproduction happening? Why is it she starts dancing and it goes into the most ridiculous thing? Why?
Yeah.
And what is everyone doing while she's doing that? Because
Yeah.
it makes it seem like they are all also on an adventure with her, but they're not.
I can see it as like, like the combination of drugs or whatever else is going on and the mental breakdown of having to escape from this. But they don't, like, that's a leap that I have to make.
Right.
I have to, like, make a wild ass guess.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't take me there, and in this sort of thing, the movie needs to take you there.
It is one of those movies that just plops you into it, and it's like, here's what's happening.
Yeah.
Process it any way you want to. We're not telling you shit. And
You actually have me interested in rewatching this movie because I probably haven't watched it since shortly after it came out.
I haven't watched it since we saw it in the theaters.
Yeah.
Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
so here's the thing about that. I
It
watched
was a tale told by an idiot.
I watched the extended cut, which has one very significant difference about it than the theatrical cut, involving John Hamm. There's a bit late in the film that John Hamm participates in that is wildly different in the extended cut than it is in the theatrical cut, to the point where I believe in the theatrical cut it is almost nonsensical, and you just watch it and go, what just happened? What was that? It is way more drawn out and spelled out in the extended cut. It's I would be interested if you, because the extended cut is like 20 to 30 minutes longer. So I know. so
People want the Snyder cut of shit? Come
yeah,
on.
I don't know. There was nothing in it that I felt was extraneous. Like there didn't seem to be scenes that were just there to pad the running time. But there's a very important scene towards the end, and then when I went back to see what was different, and they were like, "Oh, the scene is not in the theatrical cut." I was like, "Wow, really? Wow." So, yeah, I would be interested if you guys went back and watched it, but then watched maybe the extended version. And it's weird. I kind of stumbled on that because I was just looking at Vanessa Hudgens' IMDb page
Vanessa
after
Hudgens.
Journey 2. Like, I know why she's famous, but I was just like, well, what movies has she been in? And was like, oh yeah, I never saw Sucker Punch, did I? And that's how I got there.
You didn't start with the High School Musicals?
I've seen those.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just like, I know why she's famous, but I know at some point she, started showing up in Journey 2 and shit like that.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, oh right, Emily Browning's in this, and okay, let's. And I'm like, oh, Oscar Isaac, yeah. I didn't know anything about the soundtrack either. I didn't know it was going to be like this weird, super mashup, updatey thing. So like every time a new song came on, I was enthralled. I was like, oh,
Oh,
wow,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why, we talked about the soundtrack
Right.
a lot to this movie more
Yeah.
than we did the movie
Yes.
itself. Actually, so.
Now I know why.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, weird random thing, but I watched Sucker Punch and it was a strange experience. It still looks pretty good. Like the CG stuff is very obviously CG stuff, but a lot of it still looks pretty good. I mean, it looks expensive.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is I remember it being like, wow, this looks cool. I have basically almost no idea. I wouldn't say I have no idea what's going on because I'm not an idiot. I just feel like I think my brain is trying to piece together that there's more to it, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure that there is.
Yeah, it's like, why is it this? Like, okay, you're in like the trenches during the World War. You're, it's literally a heavy metal sequence. Now it's a sci-fi sequence. It's like, what's the connection here? Why are we doing this? And there's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's just someone said, you know what would be cool?
Pretty much. That's really the crux of that movie is I feel like it was just a like a comic book store like pitch, and then we'll try to fit a story around it later.
Yeah, it's like he had action figures and was just like, okay, and then she comes in, right? And then all of a sudden, like, this spaceship comes in, raw, and then, like, they fight with swords, and he's just acting it out. And it's like, yeah, dude, okay, go ahead, make your movie.
If you're for whatever reason, if you're trying to watch Vanessa Hudgens movies, at some point watch Spring Breakers.
I need to watch Spring Breakers.
I mean, just because. Like, I'm not saying it's a great movie, but it's worth watching.
I agree.
I'm just,
No, you're
okay,
right.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird movie, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying it's good, but
This was literally like I was looking at her IMDb page and I saw Sucker Punch, and then I looked to my right on a shelf and was like, "Oh, the Blu-ray for Sucker Punch. Let's see what this is all about."
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's how I watch movies sometimes. It's just a, looking at Wikipedia pages and be like, "Oh, I never saw that. Oh, look, it's right here."
As much as I'm mostly indifferent to that movie, that's one of the ones I'm like, where's the 4K copy of that? Because that movie's crazy, visual, stuff, and it's like I'm always shocked when why have I don't understand why it takes so long for them to do restorations or 4K upreses or whatever of super popular movies.
Yeah.
Like, where's Lord of the Rings? Like, people would be all about that shit.
You're probably right.
Like, give me a 4K copy of Lord of the Rings. Like,
They only rendered those 30,000 fake people in 720p, so
yeah.
it's going to take 45 years to render them in 4K.
I got nothing else. How about you? You?
I got nothing that I can remember. I think I talked about the last interesting thing that I watched across the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. We're good then.
Mhm.
Perhaps I will watch something interesting later this year.
Well, we look forward to it.
I'm sure you do.
I look forward to that day.
Please tell us about the movies you watch. So, you want to give the people some contact information?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think they should know by now. But in case you don't, BMFcast.com, BMF at BMFcast.com, 910-5JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263, Patreon.com/BMFcast. Those are the things.
Yep, that's pretty much
Go
it.
do them.
Any social thing where
Yeah, we're
BMFcast, at BMFcast
Yeah.
/BMFcast, whatever.
Subscribe to us on Spotify.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, please do.
You can listen, or you can, in case you don't know, like, you may just be out there in Spotify or iTunes land or whatever, and you can watch a live stream. We do a live stream every week.
Yeah.
On YouTube.com/
Wait, what?
BMFcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, these cameras are on right now.
Wednesday nights.
Yeah, Wednesday nights, typically about 9:30.
9:30,
not a-
8:30 Central.
It's not a set in stone time
Only on
because
Fox.
we have to watch a movie and get here and things happen.
Oh.
It's pretty safe
Yeah,
to say we're
someone
live
is
by
looking at
9:30.
you right here. See this? This is a camera check,
Oh, shit.
and
I had no idea what that was.
You should
people
really
are,
stop picking your nose, by the way.
people are looking at you through that thing right there.
And
I
that
didn't sign
one,
up for
that
this.
one on the wall.
Well, that one sometimes, like if I go over here and I
What?
click this little thing, then it is over there.
What?
Yeah.
That?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all like camera 1, camera 2, camera 1.
Cameras
Camera
1
two.
through 4, camera 5.
Fine. Yeah, live stream. YouTube.com/BMFcast every Wednesday.
Wow.
Typically speaking, unless otherwise notified.
Yeah. But you can find out all of those details on Twitter at twitter.com/BMFcast.
Mhm.
Yeah, all the things.
All
you know,
these things.
you can find out where we are and what we're up to. And, yeah, congratulations to the one lady that listens to us on Spotify. We had 100% male up until this week when we discovered one lady now listens to us. So
Yes.
that makes like 3.
Our lady section went up to 3%. And I was like, oh, hot damn. I was very excited.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Hello, lady.
Not because
Hey, lady!
Not because it's a lady, but
okay.
because it was 100% male, and I'm
Oh.
like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies like
The fucking sausage party.
kickboxing
in
movies.
here. Yeah.
It was just Spotify. I mean, how does it even know? Like,
I
do
know.
you have to
Because
take...
it's connected to a lot of Spotify accounts are connected through Facebook.
Oh, really?
Because that was one of the only ways you could get Spotify for a long time
Oh,
was connecting it with your Facebook.
okay. I just was curious. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't remember giving it any kind of information.
Yeah, I think there's some demographic information you can give it.
You
but,
can, yeah. but
Um,
why would you?
mine is still connected through my Facebook.
Okay.
Hey, you
That's
should delete
face,
that.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. There are too many people to keep up with that I can only keep up with by Facebook. Otherwise, I would have kicked it a long time ago. I promise you that.
Delete it.
Delete your account. Shit your place.
I already shit my place.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's get out of here, shall we?
Okay.
I'm Harlow.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And for Mackie, this is BMFcast out. See you next time. I love you.
Right.
Motherfucker.
Ah.
Ooh. Man, there goes our Casper sponsorship.
Yeah.
We will never sell beds in boxes.
But I don't want to be nice. I want to be evil. There was a video going around of the original voice of Skeletor reading Skeletor memes the other day. It was pretty cute. He did it really good. Yeah. But he's like 80 now, so it's more like, yeah. Agent Skeletor.
Did he read the gluten-free one? Because that's my favorite. There's one. It's literally just a picture of Skeletor, and just because it's a picture of Skeletor, you read it in Skeletor voice, which works better. And it says, "You know what else is gluten-free? Shutting the fuck up." That's one of my favorites.
I don't think he read that one. Skeletor voice.
That's so good.
Actor reads Skeletor memes.
Like it's not the picture is just like literally him just standing there, and it's just because of the picture you're like, I will now read this in Skeletor voice.
It shows them on screen, so
Okay. They probably didn't, because they probably want to make that 80-year-old dude say fuck. But
it looks like he would definitely do it.
okay. This dude fucks.
Yeah. No, he doesn't.
So you can get Sucker Punch 4K digitally.
No, cancel. Somehow autoplay turned on. God, fucking.
I guess it's just one of those ones I didn't get a free upgrade, or is that just on Voodoo? Maybe iTunes doesn't have it.
Booter.
Yeah, but if you got it, well, yeah, I guess it wouldn't.
I don't know what studio has it.
It's Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It's real weird, like what they decide to give you free upgrades to. I feel like if it was one of those old ones you had to redeem on Ultraviolet or Voodoo or the not iTunes thing,
right?
It's like, oh, you redeemed a 1080p copy, fuck you. But it's like if you redeemed it in iTunes, it's like, yeah, sure, free upgrade, here you go. And then it does, but it doesn't carry over to the Movies Anywhere services. Nope. It's like it's so weird. Just get fucked.
Get the fuck.
No, I was just like, get fucking on board with this, movie studios. Like, if I own a digital copy of something, just give me the best fucking thing possible in perpetuity.
That should be like the whole reason behind owning a digital copy.
Yeah, like you have me. You have got me. I don't care if you stop including the codes in DVDs or in Blu-rays. I mean, I think that's shitty. But if you want to push me all digital, just be like, you will buy this movie. It will always be available on one of these services through Movies Anywhere, because it's never going to, like, we're never just going to yank it off the internet, and whatever the best version of it is, you will get it when it comes out. That's how you'll get me. I will go all fucking digital.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, I mean, I feel like that's what music finally eventually did, or we just got to where it was like, yeah, I'll give you $10 a month, give me all the music.
That's where we got, yeah.
Give me most of the music, not all. Every once in a while I go to Spotify or Apple Music and I'm like, why is this not here? Off to YouTube.
Off to YouTube. Yeah.
Well, the Sucker Punch soundtrack that's on Apple Music has 2 cuts that are just not allowed to be given away or whatever. It's like,
what?
They do that a lot. There will be cuts on the album that don't get to be part of the album anymore unless you buy the album.
Yeah, what?
Because the soundtrack.
Wait,
how?
I was like,
how does that work? If you
the magic carpet. Right
oh,
there.
Apple Music.
Yeah. I made the mistake of, like, I had the Go soundtrack.
I forgot that was a get all the music for a few dollars a month.
Yeah, I had the Go soundtrack ripped, and went back in the day when I ripped CDs, I was doing like 128K, and I was like, I want more than that. Space is no longer an issue.
Yeah,
I'm not Jens over here. I don't need all flack, but I want something a little bit better than that, because I can hear the difference in a 128K file now.
Right.
And I was like, oh well, I got iTunes match. There's the Go soundtrack. Delete this shit copy, and next thing I know, I'm like, where's Magic Carpet? Right? It's not there. I don't have the whole soundtrack. Thanks, all digital future.
Yeah, thanks.
I remember walking out of the theater from Sucker Punch, and in like, I have to buy that soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
That is my strongest memory of Sucker Punch.
Yep. I can probably get you that soundtrack. There was a place that was shared for a little while.
Yeah, we have.
All right, I just we
we
gotta
can-
tell the
we can
back.
spill the
Yeah,
beans.
just tell the backstory on this.
We have a Dropbox
Mm-hmm.
on. Well, we have a
On
Dropbox
Dropbox.
folder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on Dropbox of all places.
Uh-huh.
That is called Sucker Punch, and it is because one of us downloaded. I think it was maybe Harlow.
Yeah, I had a
Like-
I had a DRM free copy of the soundtrack.
Yeah, DRM free copy of the soundtrack, and put it in that Dropbox folder named Sucker Punch,
and
then
shared it with everybody.
shared it with all of us. And then, like, we're just like, like a month or so later, like, I need a file. Just drop it in that Sucker Punch folder.
Uh-huh.
And that became our default spot
It's
to
still-
put
it's-
fucking everything
it still
BMFcast
exists.
related.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even think the music is there anymore.
Oh no,
but yeah.
that's been gone
Yeah.
forever. I mean, that was only up there for like because you're like, I got it, or no, I don't need it. I bought it my own self or
Yeah.
whatever. I was like, I just if you wanted to not have to rip it or whatever, if you bought a CD, because back then we
Yeah.
still bought CDs.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
We still all had like CD burners in our computers and
yeah.
everything.
I was like, if you just want, a 320K copy of it, here it is. So everybody got it or whatever, and then Chuck came along, and of course I just invited him to that. It was like, why am I making a new folder? This is already shared with everybody.
Yeah. This is already what we're
And
using
you were
to
like,
share.
why is it called Sucker Punch? I'm like, it just is.
Yep. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You guys must really like Sucker Punch.
Yeah. No.
I'll just not watch it for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's our weird Sucker Punch story.
That's that shit happens.
That
So
shit
often.
happens to me.
All the time.
That shit happens to me all the time.
But yeah, that kind of weird shit happens. Like even at work, it's like, why is this folder named that? I don't know. It's been named that for 16 years.
I had a case where I'm gonna make up which programs they are because it doesn't really matter. But let's say like we had Lotus 123 like way back in the day, and so like there was a network share that was like 123, and like this is where the source files and the installers for that were. Well, when we moved to Excel, rather than create an Excel folder, they're just like, well, it's replacing 123. Just put it in the 123 folder. So for like years,
40
like
years,
like
yeah.
all the plugins and everything were in it for Excel were in, like still in a 123 folder. And like I said, I think it was an accounting program. It's not important, but it was just like nobody bothered to rename the folder because they're like, oh, it might break the permissions. It's like, hey, you're not good at networking, but if you can't fix that, but yeah, just for years it was like, where's the Excel stuff? It's in a folder called 123.
I have a story about that I am not going to say while we are live on the internet.
Uh-oh.
As soon as we're off, I will tell you the immediate.
Yeah, we have stuff like that at work as well. Just legacy stuff. Why do you call it this? Because 40 years ago we started calling it that, and we can't escape it now. We are in its gravity well.
Yeah, I feel like coming up with like dumb names, like your own, like personalizing a thing that's an industry standard in any industry is a bad idea because especially people that come to your company that never previously worked in that industry learn
Oh,
those
yeah.
terms, and then they're like,
Then they go somewhere
well, then they go
else
somewhere
and
else, and it's like, well, how do you do this? And it's like, what the fuck is that? Like,
Yeah.
and it's like,
You make them stupid
Yeah.
by teaching
I mean,
them.
or at least like when they bring it on, it's like, okay, this is called this here because we branded it this. The generic term is this. Like at least have that conversation and stress that. Like when you're
Right.
when you're talking to a layman or someone that's not inside the company, obviously pitch them on the thing that's yours, but call it the generic term. It's like
Yeah.
it's not a Kleenex, it's a tissue.
Yes. A facial tissue.
Yeah.
All right, let's get offline so you can hear this sick Chuck story.
Okay.
And I'll secretly record it for everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Happy anniversary to Nate and Liz. Liz? Lease?
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 Is it
Lease?
Lease?
I don't
Like
know.
like a new lease on life.
I don't know. It's LIS. Anyway, happy anniversary to y'all, and happy anniversary to Kyle, who also had a 20-year anniversary this year. Dang, y'all all in love and shit. What?